So yeah, last time in Skyrim, I believe we murdered the Emperor as part of Dark Brotherhood, didn't we? That was kind of where we left off. I think I said I'd try do some of more civil quest stuff. Because if I do more of the civil quests, or civil war quests even, then surely that makes it easier to travel around on the roads, because there wouldn't be any, like, I mean, patrols, I guess you'd call them? I wouldn't say they're armies. Definitely not, but yeah, I wouldn't run into random stormcloaks out and about. So I'm thinking that is the right thing to do. So, with that, I apparently need to regain the Pale. Whatever the hell that means. The Pale's apparently literally just a camp. I swear the Pale was an area, wasn't it? I could have sworn.
I can take you
Yes, hello, I would like your
go.
carriage, please. I would like to go to Dawnstar. Thank you for having that at the top of your list.
You ever met
Saves
one
us a
them
lot of
cats?
time. When it's at the top of the list.
They called themselves. I
It's
hear
not
this
very
whole
often I need to go
country's
to
full of them
Dawnstar,
down
though.
south.
It's not the best of places either. Because, I mean, there's no carriage to escape from there. You're stuck in Dawnstar once you enter, you know? It's just how it is. I mean, I'm not all that bothered. I just get my horse, go on a ride. It's fine. Yeah, I don't entirely know what happens with... I mean, I can take guesses, but I don't know what happens with the civil quests. Or civil war quests, sorry. And I swear you just spawned in right in front of me.
When I fought the Great War,
Who the hell are all of you? Like
I
a
used stealth.
barbershop quartet.
The warm sand of elsewhere is far away from
No,
here.
you're all just talking about elsewhere, which I believe is the homeland of Khajiit, right? I think I'm remembering that correctly. I don't know. Okay, we're just gonna have a big old ride in this direction. How did someone's saying over here? I don't see any bandits. So I'm gonna assume they weren't talking about me. They were maybe trying to herd the goats, you know? You got what looks like a hunter over there. I think trying to shoot a goat, yeah. You know what? That doesn't sound like a goat. What was that? Possibly wolves. You know, that's fine. I think it was the hunter who shouted. We've probably not solved the problem. There was a good chance with someone else, but I'm going to assume we have. Because assumptions are the best way to keep you sane, you know? Just assuming you're in the right, even if you're not. Ah, yes, I've come by here before. I think I used their cooking station once. Good times. Good times. Let me just warm up by the fire quick.
How'd you end up here?
Uh,
My father
got
was a
horse.
legionnaire.
oh, you're not talking to me. Okay.
Guess I never considered doing anything else.
Do I have anything to cook? I don't know if I do. No. Oh, also, I should, just because it is snowing in the game, I should put on performance mode for my stream. That might get you slightly better bitrate for watching. I don't know entirely. I just need to get my damned stream thing up again. It's always a pain. I need to tab into it twice to actually get it up.
My
Yeah,
father was a legionnaire. Days before him.
we need to talk to Mr. Mapman. Yes. Hello.
Something to report?
It's you again. I don't like you. You're the one, I believe, who ruined the previous quest I did, right? Where she kept attacking me for no good reason. That was annoying. That was very annoying. Yes, reporting for duty, I
I need
think.
you to deliver some false
A
orders
few
to
weeks
the
late.
Stormcloak commander in Dawnstar. But
Oh.
first, we need to get our hands on some rebel orders to make the forgeries. The Nightgate and Candlehearth Inns are frequent stops for Stormcloak runners. See if you can't convince one of the innkeepers to help you. One way or another,
Don't
get
like
me
those
those
inverted
documents.
commas around
But
convince.
don't do anything rash if you go to Windhelm. Well, soldier, can you do this?
Sure.
Show the rebels the futility
don't
of
see
their
why not.
cause.
I don't see why not. I need to find the Stormcloak Courier. I mean, I was kind of hoping there'd be quest markers to where that was. Does it not give me any new quest markers?
Many of my countrymen joined the rebel. The Nightgate and Candlehearth Inns are frequent
Nightgate and
stops.
Candlehearth.
See if you can't one way or but don't do anything rash. If you
Neither
go
of
to
those rings a bell. I'm not giving me quest markers. It's a stop off point for Solitude from Windhelm. Or Windhelm, sorry. It's not there. That's not. Or maybe it is. Maybe that is the inn I'm looking for. I want to go towards Windhelm, though, is what I'm trying to say. Because if they're heading up this way, the inn's got to be around this kind of an area, right? Like, that would only make sense, wouldn't it?
I'll take my leave.
And you're not supposed to take your leave, Leggett. You're kind of on duty. Like, while you're here, you know? Superior officer and whatnot. I don't think... Is she allowed to leave? I don't think she's allowed to take her leave. I mean, I'm not going to question the military. It's fine. I'm just going to slowly make my way towards Windhelm and hope that I find the right inn. And, yeah. I don't actually know where these inns are. I'm taking an educated guess. I don't know how educated I am in the matter, so it's maybe not the best of guesses. That's fine. I've got a horse. I can go somewhat quickly. I will quickly also drop in on Dawnstar, in case the inn in Dawnstar is the one I need. I should possibly also call it a tavern rather than an inn, because it might get confusing if I talk about all the inns and places. You know? And, this time they've set up a tent and stuff. That was quick. Almost makes you think that that part hadn't loaded in when I first came by, after getting a carriage. Yes. The Nightgate Inn. I believe that was actually one of the ones that was mentioned, wasn't it? This is a Wind Peak Inn. What the
Come on in.
hell?
Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get
This
the
might
cold
be
down.
the right place. Your sign and the location
I'm sorry.
speak differently, though.
My mind was just somewhere else. Do you need a room? People say there's someone in Riften that can change your face. Make you look completely different. Do you believe that?
This does not seem to be the Nightgate Inn, despite having the sign for the Nightgate Inn. Oh, that's just blatant lies. That's false marketing. Can't believe it. I have to go extort some other person. How dare they make this extortion business difficult, you know? I'm just trying to make an honest living. And they're just blatantly putting up the wrong sign. How rude. How rude. This is going to be a very long and quite quiet journey to imagine. I'm not going to anyone to talk, because I'm just talking alone to myself. So I do apologise if I go quiet for a while, if I seem to just be rambling or whatever. Even in Mammoths, we do. Could get some souls. Do I want to get some souls on my way? You know what? Yeah. I will get some souls on the way. That sounds like a wonderful idea. Let me just be a little careful. Apparently not hidden. So I need to just like over here. Does this count as hidden? Who's spotting me? I don't know. I'm assuming not the mammoth at this distance. Sneak attack. And now we just keep on shooting arrows at it. Because we should be dealing like a good amount of damage, you know? Joromir's already gone down. Our horse is, I believe, immortal. I don't know if that means it can't die or if it gets resummoned. I've heard that it is. I swear someone's told me that. Let's just keep on trying to murder the mammoth. Do not want that. I would like this and this, please. Let's murder the mammoth with the soul gem grabber. There we go. Lovely, lovely bit of soul. I think that is... That's a greater soul, right? I think so. Let's get back to murdering. Yeah, giant, he's a concern. He can launch me into the air, at what point physics kills me. He can also probably just straight up kill me, which is concerning. Is that my healing? No, that's a light. Yeah, that didn't work. God, my guy is puny. I can deal damage at a distance, but you do not survive. Or at least I don't survive. I don't know if that's survival mode or just me being bad at the game. Possibly mix of both. It's hard to say, you know? I want to blame the game, though. Because as any good worksman does, I blame my tools. You know? It's not how the saying goes, but still. Still. This is gonna be such a boring start to stream. I'm so sorry. Like, I can't do anything about the going through the not exactly wilderness on a horse part. It's survival Skyrim. It's somewhat to be expected. I do think I still am able to kill off this giant and mammoth. This time, however, drop a save beforehand. Just to be careful. Okay. Mammoth is getting shot quite a lot. There goes the horse. What's that? Yeah, give me a minute. I'm sorry, Mr. Giant. I've got something more important. What's this? Oh?
Kovoja. Well met, big one. Oh,
Can assume he's supposed to be from a mod. Because he's straight up just missing his entire torso. There's a man. I was wondering where they'd got to. They're quite large. I would have been surprised if I'd missed them entirely. Okay, let's get the mammoth. Mammoth is definitely the easier of the two, I'd say. Which makes it nice because it's also larger, so I can quite reliably hit it. Also seems to be stuck between two trees. Which, I must say, helps. Apparently knows all their weak points. Good on you, Joromir. I've got their soul, however, which I would consider to be a weak point of most. When you lose your soul, I'd imagine it's quite hard to stay alive. Okay, I just need to heal and kite the giant with trees so you can't quite get me. This is fine. Giant can't do much. However, do keep an eye on him. He's going after my horse. Okay. That's fine. Let's go save the horse. Come on, giant. We can definitely beat him. I will take some of my arrows back as well after this. I do feel kind of bad going over to the archer build. I mean, I had heard they were very powerful builds. But I didn't expect myself to die quite so quickly to a giant in melee combat. so I don't feel I'm left with much of a choice. Yeah, I want to get your soul now. Please do not kill him yet, Joromir. There we go. There. I was about to say there goes the giant, but literally there goes the giant. I think he went through the ground. And, oh, he had a dragon bone. Interesting. I'll take my arrows. I don't really care about the rest of it. I might grab that. I can give it off to Joromir. Hello,
Yes.
Joromir. I know you like your dragon bones.
Of
Like,
course.
it's your
Throw everything in the
favoritist
sack.
things.
And if you see my shoe brush somewhere in there, let me know.
And I do not believe there is a shoe brush. However, I will definitely give you some of these things. That's a black soul gem grand? Damn. I could have got a human soul. I guess I didn't have any grand ones left for that mammoth. Which is a shame. I could have sworn I did. Be fair, I didn't check at all. So let me just give him all of these. Alright, currently. I have common, I have a... I don't know what a floor of Varla stone does, but presumably stores any kind of soul? Don't know. Greater and lesser, as well as a lot of petty. We have a lot of stuff we could potentially
Your wish?
enchant in the future then if we actually get all of those filled up. Yeah, that's... I think 3 grand souls I now have access to. Where'd the mammoth go? He was over by this tree. Okay. Had the wrong set of trees. That's on me. That's just down to my bad
know,
perception.
I've always imagined it
Only 2 arrows back? God,
string in my head.
that's not
but
great.
Because of you, I get to live out my dream in the flesh. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to quickly go warm up by the fire. We'll then go find Shadowmere in a moment. Because I think that went well. I would like to do some enchanting at some point. And seeing as today I'm going to be going around all the inns. Or all the taverns. I said I'd call them taverns. It's maybe not the worst thing to be going to do. You know? Because some of them have enchanting tables. I could maybe do some enchanting at the taverns. Right? I'm not mistaken. I've definitely seen alchemy stations. I'm not 100% sure on whether I have like seen anything in way of enchanting stations in the taverns. It's maybe a bit too fancy. But I've definitely seen alchemy stations. So I hold out hope. I'm holding out hope. I apologise for just how calming it is being by this fire. It's nice. I like decorations, you know? It's lovely. Okay. Back to finding the horse. Shadowmere. You're probably around that area still, right? I think I saw them right there. Shadowmere? Shadowmere, I found you! Silly little horse. Thinking you can just like stand off the side and escape me. Come on. Let's go. We're gonna maybe find the inn we're looking for. It really did not give us quest markers, did it? No, not at all. The inns aren't even markers on the map. So I can't check the names. I mean, one guess is possibly down in Falkreef. Their inn might have, like, the information I'm looking for. Or the couriers I'm looking for, or whatever. What's going on here? Just revelers.
Hail, friend. It's good to see another merry soul enjoying this fine day. Ah, but you look tired. Come, share a bottle of Honningbrew mead with me.
I mean, yes, I'd love to share a drink, friends.
Nothing like buying spirits to help raise your... well, your spirits. Cheers, my friend. May your adventures find you fame and fortune.
Yeah, that's nice. I guess I'll drink it as well. Cool. Not expecting to find just random people who'd give me alcohol out in the world, you know? It's very kind of them. Also, I can't help but think we haven't done that encampment, have we? We're not gonna get shot, right? And that's, I think, a storm cloak. Yeah, okay. Storm cloaks are all good. I can deal with them. But yeah, as I was saying before I got distracted by them, quite possibly where I need to go would be down in Falkreath, because they are very Stormcloak centralised, I guess. We're not centralised, but we're very, like, on side with the Stormcloaks. So I could potentially see Falkreath. I could see maybe the place in... I mean, I could see the place in Windhelm, but surely a courier's not going to stop by the tavern in their own city, right? That's maybe worth a check. I think there's also a village on the way, the place we found the gourmet the last time I did this, which was a week ago. So I can't remember entirely where it is, but there is a village in this general area I'm currently in. So, possibly we can find him. Oh, did I say him? Might be her who runs the tavern, so... hope we can find them. There we go. Use a nice gender neutral term. Yeah, that looks like I'm approaching the village. Got a bit of a house. Or whatever it might be. Might not be a house. Might be like a brewery or something. Yeah, following logic. This is an inn. But... okay, that's just food there on the plate. I thought it was a map or something. Yeah, this is an inn. Or, sorry, tavern. Don't want to make confusion. Which, again, has a sign, but doesn't necessarily mean anything. Which is between them both, and this is actually the Nightgate Inn. My logic works. Look at that. Hello.
I can get for you?
Any Stormcloak couriers at all?
I tend to keep my patrons' privacy.
I mean, his life is in danger. From me.
Yeah, sure it is. You don't fool me. I tend to keep my patrons' privacy.
What is this? I don't have time.
That
So
won't be
I guess
necessary.
intimidate him. I don't want to give him
He
money.
was here, but he left. If you leave now, you can probably catch him. Or you can just wait here. He'll be back soon enough. Anything you need, just holler.
I mean, Ray? Is that giving me a quest marker? He said he's just left. I'm looking for someone on the road heading presumably towards Dawnstar, right? I can likely find him, but I would have thought I would have bumped into him on the road. Is he maybe one of those reveler people that kinda gave me the drink, you know? Another option is I just wait. But if he's off to deliver orders right now, this is likely the best chance to catch him. If I went after him in a while after he comes back, he likely wouldn't have those orders anymore, would he? I'm just trying to logic this out because I've not been getting any quest markers whatsoever. I also can't help but notice a very distinct lack of literally any people at all. This isn't ideal. I don't need a local map. I was told he's just left. Like, the innkeeper could have lied to me, though. It's very much a possibility. You know, to keep his patrons safe and all that. Yeah, if he'd just headed off, I doubt he would have made it all the way up to there. He must have headed towards Windhelm, I would imagine. Then I can head to Windhelm. That's not the finest, but it's fine. That's not too much bother. It's largely just going to be a lot of travelling this time, I think. Which, I mean, I'm fine with. It's fun to just travel around. It's a bit snowy, but that just makes it feel more immersive, because I'm bloody cold in the room. We've got snow at the moment, so it's very chilly. I'm not looking forward to possibly wearing that maid outfit for charity stream tomorrow. Is that a hunter or a courier? Presumably hunter, but it's the wood elf. I like how they've got a bow, but they're deciding fisticuffs is the way to go. Got a Legion soldier helping. 2 Legion soldiers. Why were we fighting the wood elf? You had fancy arrows. I'll take them. I'll take your ring as well. And that's a nice looking bow. What's my bow like? It's mine's 22. Not quite as good as my one, but oh, it looks fancy. I'd be willing to go over to it just because it looks fancy. Nah, I'll be fine. I had thought maybe that wood elf was the courier I was looking for, but I guess not. Why did we murder a wood elf?
Some people ask me why I won't stick to one
know.
job and settle down. Yeah, because real men spend their lives.
Ah well, that's fine. Continue on this way. That wasn't the courier. Then I'm just confused is all. Because they didn't have to attack us. It made sense if they were a courier, that they were maybe tipped off by the innkeeper. But yeah. I guess head back towards the inn. We'll stop in at the inn, just in case the courier has come back. Because there's a definite chance of that. It's not the highest of chances, but there is a definite chance the courier has come back in the time we've been away. There's also a chance of just never left, because of pathfinding being weird. I mean, you're not going to be a courier, are you? No. You're not a courier?
There are some that say
No.
the Dark Brotherhood is back. Stronger than
Well, I guess just head on into the tavern.
Come on in.
No, it's called an inn though in
Fire.
this.
Take a seat and get
So I
the
might just keep calling it an inn anyway.
No one ever comes to this dump.
None of these people seem to be who I'm looking for. Alright. It's worth stopping by to check. Not worth it enough, really, but I need to try and justify it to myself, you know? It's fine. Also, something I should do while I remember. No, I give him all talk
The
earlier.
guards have
Never
been
mind, I was
saying
going to say
things about
recharge my bow,
But you are
but I
the
need to
one
grab
that-
the
well,
gems off.
They say
We
the
heading
Goes
out?
right here.
Well,
Alright, I guess I'll grab a
Take
few
whatever
of
you
the lower tiered gems. Yeah. I'll let him hold on to the grand ones and the greater.
Right.
And in the meantime, I shall charge the bow using a lesser then several petties.
Behind.
There we are. Lovely. Lovely, lovely stuff. Well, guess we're heading off in that direction now and hoping we find this courier. Who didn't head in the direction of Dawnstar like I thought they would. It just leads me to think, have they left at all? Because the game can be a bit iffy. I've had problems with the Civil War questline already. I hope it's fine. I do. There's not really any guarantee of it. It's like actually working how it's supposed to. So I am mildly skeptical. Only mildly though. And there's a person. That's not going to be the courier, is it? I mean, I need to stop and check. What is your name? You're a refugee. No, that's fine. I want to from here. Go north? No, go the south path. That's fine. Head on down this way. That's quite nice just going along on horse, you know? Like, there's a definite... I mean, there's a dragon, but there's a definite just sense of calm as you just go around on a horse. It's just nice, you know? It's nice. Is that dragon going to be an issue? Presumably yes. Almost definitely yes. Oh! It's the courier! I was too distracted by the dragon. And yeah, this is going to be a dangerous dragon. They have like resistance? Not really. Yeah, none of those are going to help me. Okay. Munch on a bit of bread. Drop a quick save. Get out my bow. And shoot it in the ass. Or it turned a bit. So not quite the ass, but it's fine. We can make do. It's focusing on my horse. It's okay. Shadowmere, I think, is immortal. Not certain still, because I've not seen it die. Presumably they are. That's my death imminent. Yep. I don't think I could have escaped that, as my body kind of funnily falls to the floor. That's fine. That's fine. Continue to shoot it. It's a frost dragon, therefore weak to fire. It's Pokemon rules, you know? And if that courier dies to or dragon related injuries, which aren't related to me shooting them, I am entirely within my right to loot the dead body with no legal repercussions. Keep shooting the dragon and hiding behind the stump, because I'm very concerned about this frost breath. Because I don't know why I die so fast. Assuming, like, I am assuming it's survival mode, right? That's what would make sense. It really is somewhat concerning. Just how quickly I can be killed. Am I not supposed to... That's impressive, Shadowmere. Am I not supposed to be, like, the Dragonborn, like, not necessarily mythical hero, but very fancy hero? Also, what arrows do I have? I don't know. I've got definitely ones picked up from that wood elf, but I'm about to run out of my iron ones. Yeah, that's them. We're on to 4 sworn arrows. I'm peckish apparently, but that's not the most important right now. Steel arrows. Okay, we've got a good few of those steel arrows. That's fine. Continue to shoot the dragon. Make sure we are not shooting Yoromir, who I don't entirely know where he's gone. So just be a bit careful. And I do want to see, can you capture a dragon's soul? with like this massive lag bar that I have. Because, I mean, I suck in its soul as a Dragonborn, right? But does it have a separate soul? Let's see. I'll just get a cool kill animation. I can't really see the animation, but yeah, seemingly no. You do not get an extra soul. Makes sense. I can't get a sapphire. I can get some of my arrows back. And I should take the bones and give them to Hjormir. It's fine. I'll take the scales, but I'm more than fine to just drop
Hjormir,
them in a minute.
and I'm just the man for the job. Sure thing. Take whatever you need.
I will definitely not be taking anything, Hjormir, but I appreciate you saying so. There we go. We need to figure out what these unusual gems are at some point. They're quest items. Okay. I was about to give them to Hjormir to hold on to because they look fancy, but no, it's all good.
We heading out? I've got
Why am I still slow?
equipment cleaned and ready. Yes.
Wait, what? I'm still slow.
Right,
I gave
let's
away...
trade. That's what you said, right?
I picked up my
You
own
wanted to
arrows,
trade?
didn't even get all of them back. Why am I over encumbered? They definitely give him things, yeah. I think I picked up like a sapphire as well. I wouldn't have thought that would have pushed me over the edge. But whatever you say, game. Guess. Yeah, I'll hold on to books. What have I got weight-wise I can get rid of to him? Did not want to give him that because he gets rid of his lovely, like, flower hat. Could give him these. Give him the madness ore. What? There. Ah! I just filtered out a bunch of stuff that he can't carry because he doesn't have enough capacity. That makes sense. Alright, we need to empty our inventory soon,
Your
Hjormir.
wish is my command.
I would find what the hell happened to that courier. Courier, oh courier.
I've killed a dragon or
Where
two in
are
my
ya?
day. The secret is to stay in one of their blind spots, right around the neck.
Is that him? Or is that a rock? I think that's him. Yeah, I'm legally allowed to take this, right? Because I didn't kill the man. That's fair game, you know? Lovely. So I still have a level up spare. Or did I spend that? I think I spent that, yeah. I'm thinking I want to invest in making my heavy armor not weigh anything if it's equipped. Because that's going to free up so much capacity. It'd genuinely be lovely if I could. The other option is I invest a bit in stamina. Just so I can carry some more. And stamina's not the worst thing, you know. I am, however, worried that I'm about to freeze to death, potentially. So I'm going to try and quickly get back to the tavern. And hope I'm alright. My fingers slightly crossed. I should be fine. I should be fine. I don't think I went all that far. We do have an ice wraith. I didn't recognise that magic that was just cast. That was rather fancy green magic. Is there green magic in this game? I know you got your fire, you got your lightning, and you got your frost. That's all I know. What would green magic be? Because that looks really quite cool. That's a nice shade of green. You know? That's fine, but I'm not a magic type. I'm all good. I just need to ignore this wolf and make my way into the inn. or tavern. I'm gonna keep changing between the two. We're never gonna settle on what it's actually called. I mean, it's Nightgate Inn. It should be called an inn. And... what? What's happening? They were murdering a guard? What's the poor guard do? Alright. I guess Imperials do not like the Pale Guard, who seemingly occupy this region we're wanting to move into. We're not getting on good terms with the locals, are we? This isn't the best. But yeah, make my way into the inn, and just warm up a bit. We do not want to freeze to death. I'm very close to freezing to death.
Well,
Far too close for comfort.
think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
You know what? I'm a bit tired anyway. Might as well
Need
sleep
a room?
to make this
Or
quicker.
maybe just... Sure thing.
Yep.
It's yours
Just give
for
me a
day.
room, please.
I'll
It's
show you to
probably,
your room.
like, not that
Right
one,
this
actually.
way.
It'll be one of these ones.
Anything you need. Just
This one?
holler.
Nope. Other room, it was this bedroom. Lovely. I will rest. I mean, it's 6 hours till midnight. I'm gonna say rest until... I don't need quite that long, do I? I'm gonna say rest until, like, 6 in the morning. I'm sure I'll be somewhat bright. I should be fine. I still don't know what sun's dusk is supposed to be in terms of weekdays.
Let me know if there's anything
It's
else
all a
you
little
need.
bit confusing. I'm also just adjusting the webcam slightly. But yeah,
What do you want?
that should be us warmed up.
I don't owe
Seemingly.
you money, do I?
I don't think you owe me
Yes?
money. Who's asking? You?
Yes.
No. I don't have any dialogue options. You don't owe me money. It's fine. This game can look pretty. I do like all light you've got there. You've got a green, you've got orangey light glowing, illuminating all the blue snow. It's nice. Just getting all these colours together. I accidentally walked into a tree. But that's just nice, you know? And the game does still hold up. Some parts of it don't, it must be said. But it's a great game. It really is. I'm also kind of lonely. I do hope someone comes by. Well, I've got to have stream alert on my Discord. That might be able to help things. You know what? Yeah, I'll go to that now. I've never once claimed to be professional at this, but yeah. I would like to stream alert. There we go. I'll be just a moment for anyone watching on YouTube. Just need to let my Discord know that I'm streaming. I should have done that maybe half an hour ago or so, at the very least. It's fine. I'm not a professional. I may get paid from Twitch because I'm an affiliate, but I'm not professional. I'm not up to that standard. I do enjoy streaming, bro. It's a lovely thing. Like, even if I'm just streaming to myself, I'm enjoying it, like, well enough. It's nicer, of course, streaming to other people. Can help keep you sane, you know? That's fine. I'm still enjoying myself. Do we want to murder all the Stormcloaks in this encampment? It's very close to Dawnstar. Which, I mean, the Imperials want Dawnstar, right? I don't know. We're giving fake orders to Dawnstar, I believe. That doesn't necessarily mean we're taking it. They are moving along.
This doesn't concern you.
Don't worry, Mr. Stormcloak. You just need to get past your camp that you built in the middle of the road. It's a very inconvenient place for anyone passing by. Probably why it's there, you know? What the hell was that rattling sound? Or metal rattling sound even. There's like a weapon on the ground back there? Must have been. Interesting. Yeah, that won't be the courier. Courier's dead. I don't need to keep an eye out. We're fine. Let's keep on keeping on. If that's the giant encampment just up there, I think you can see the fire. We really didn't go as far as I thought I did. We didn't go anywhere near as far as I thought we did. I could have sworn that was a longer journey. And I guess I did backtrack at a point. That could definitely be it. I want to go back to the Pale Imperial Camp. Back up this way. It's somewhat nice not having quest markers. I do enjoy having to figure this stuff out. That is somewhat nice, rather than having it blatantly pointed out to me. It's just a shame it's not a more exciting mission. You know? It could have been a much more interesting thing we were doing, rather than go to inn, find information about the courier, hunt down the courier and take his papers, take him back to the camp, presumably get them forged and handed off to Dawnguard. That's not the most fun kinda sounding missions at the very least. Maybe it's more fun later on. Who knows? Who knows? At least I'm complaining, I am still enjoying it, so.
Something to report?
I do have
Very
something
good.
to report, yes.
Let's see what you have here. Interesting. They know more of our plans than I expected. It would seem Fort Dunstad is in need of reinforcements. We'll make sure they won't be getting those. One moment while I correct some of these documents. That should do it. Make sure those forged documents get to the Stormcloak commander in Dawnstar. It'll throw him off our trail, allowing us to maneuver more freely.
Okay. So I just
Alright then.
need to go bring the documents to Mr. Man. Is this still not me tracking the right quest? No, this is me now tracking the right quest. I probably did have quest markers then. Ah well. I still enjoyed not having them for that short while. I'm happy enough to have this one on, however. Just because I kinda want to know which house I'm meant to go into. It is nice knowing where you're supposed to go in the game. Bandits? Possibly bandits. Got an arrow. I think that landed, like, just in my thigh. If it was any lower, I might not have been able to be an adventurer anymore, you know? Although I don't think I've heard a guard saying that yet. So, well, I do know, like, it's supposedly something they say a lot. Did they maybe dial it back in the anniversary edition? Or the, like, anniversary upgrade or whatever it is? Possibly. Anyway, Mr. Mayor Jarl, you're probably up there, aren't you? You're not going to be doing this bit. That's fine. Mr. Jarl, I have come to your Jarlness with documents. Very important official Stormcloak documents, not forgeries in any way. Let's go let him know the situation about how Fort Dunstad doesn't need reinforcements. While I'm in here, with any luck, I will also warm up.
I'm here to lend my magic to the people of Dawnstar.
The nightmares from Dawnstar is lifted, and I hear you helped that happen. You have my thanks.
How's
The Stormcloaks
Dawnstar?
are destined to win this fight. Talos is with us, and when you fight under
Am I
a
supposed to
divine
talk to someone
blessing,
else?
keep the peace. Victory is assured.
Okay, I'm not supposed to talk to the Jarl. I'm supposed to talk to
The
you.
wrong place,
I've
friend.
got
Is that
documents.
so? I don't recognize you. Why aren't you wearing your Stormcloak colors?
I mean, it's easier to sneak
I
past
suppose
enemies.
it would be. Good thinking.
Like,
All
what?
right, let's take a look. Ah, good. Looks like the reinforcements for the fort
How
are
did you
on the
not go
way.
in disguise as a
We
courier?
have some information about enemy troop movements as well. Excellent. It's not easy running messages, what with Imperial scouts crawling all over the place. Well done. Why don't you grab yourself a drink at the Wind Peak before heading back? Till next time.
Well, that was that, I guess. I got tipped 5 gold to go buy myself a drink. And I mean, I'm not going to turn it down. I might go grab myself a quick drink, you know? I feel I deserve it from the Wind Peak with the wrong sign. They deserve my patronage. I don't know if they do. I don't like the fact they have the wrong sign up. I've changed my mind. I'm just going to go back to the camp. And presumably, that's like most of us. I'm thinking we'll have to go attack Fort Dunstrat. I don't know for certain, but I would imagine so. And somewhat think though, if you're sending out the courier with important notes, you wouldn't send just the one, or if you are sending just the one, you'd send them with some guards. At least one guard, you know? Because the more you send, the more likely it's going to get there. It doesn't matter if you get duplicates. It only matters that in the first place they get something, you know? But what did they do in like medieval times? I would imagine they sent multiple couriers, right? Just like delay them so they're slightly staggered with when we're going through. Because the more you send, even if one gets caught, you're gonna get at least one through reasonably.
Good job. I knew I gave the mission to the
Yeah.
right person.
I've done my job. What next?
Your objective is Fort Dunstad.
Yep. Fort
Meet the
Dunstad.
soldiers preparing for the attack, then join them in wiping out the rebels. Once you prevail, we will garrison the fort. Well, soldier, are you up to the task?
Yeah.
I knew
Why
I
not?
could count on you, soldier.
Go get the lovely little fort. It's been in the way for a while. I'm looking forward to having it not shouting at me whenever I go past. That'll be a good time. Also, apparently I haven't got this marked off on my map, and that's blinding. Christ. That hurt my eyes. Oh god. That was not a fun transition of I'm very cold. Yeah, what exactly are we marking over here? I don't know, but that's like a bunch of Stormcloaks who I don't need to care about. But I'm heading in the wrong direction currently. So I should turn around. Well, I don't know what's up with them. But presumably nothing good.
For the sons of Skyrim.
The Sons of Skyrim. Like, I have been told, well, they are the Sons of Skyrim. It's not many generations that's been the case. Like, they took this from the Snow Elves? I want to say? I don't know. Might have been the Dweller? You think it translates like deep elves because they're kind of like dwarves or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I'm not entirely certain on the point, so I'm not going to make any promises as to what it actually was that lived in Skyrim before the Nords. The Nords only had it, I think it was like 200 years, I remember someone saying. yes, mammoth we killed earlier. This is all perfectly fine. Oh, no, sorry, not yawn. I am a little worried about fighting in Fort Dunstad, because, I mean, it's either going to be really easy, or it's going to be exceptionally hard.
Find them.
That's actual cultists. I can go get some friends, that's fine. I'm on a horse, they're not going to catch me. I need to go resolve that DLC at some point. I think it's a DLC, not a mod. Not certain, again. Yeah, Fort Dunstad is over this direction. Yeah, path does follow through and look print. That's fine. Well, in go the soldiers, and I mean I'll munch on some bread on my way. That's fine. Just imagine showing up to battlefield and saying, "Hey, wait, don't invade it for a minute. I'm eating a sandwich." That's probably not allowed, right? Yeah. Let me see if I can capture one of their souls. Because I do have this fancy soul gem, you know? Also, I really need some heat. I'm going to freeze to death. I am not even slowly freezing to death. I am just freezing to death. Yeah. Try and murder you. No soul gem large enough. So that Varla one isn't quite the right size. Alright. That's fine. I'm sorry, Hjormir. I didn't mean to hit you. And I just continue. Yeah, you're the correct enemy. It's not wanting to whack an Imperial by mistake, because they wouldn't appreciate them. And they just spawned. I think they just spawned in from where I walked out from. Either that or they like jumped off the wall or came through the door would make sense. Yes. Okay, that's fine. Ow. Yeah, no. When I'm freezing to death, this is quite hard. I did not drop a quick save at that thing. I need to make that journey again. God damn it. How long do I need to go? I need to go from Jarl's house. Okay, I need to get more in the habit of dropping quick saves. That's a long setback I've just had. I would say it's fine, but bit annoyed. Bit annoyed. It's on me, however. So what can you do? What can you do? It almost looks green. Is that just me? I think that looks almost green with the wind and the lighting. I don't know. Snow's not green. Maybe I'm going delusional. It's hard to say. It doesn't look very green, but it does look a little, I feel. You know? But yeah, let the legate know that I've handed over the note. Go invade the fort again. Fun-filled day of travelling. It's already been an hour and I have done next to nothing. I mean, travelling's all well and good. But I'm travelling the same area over and over.
Something to report?
Yes,
Your
reporting
objective.
for
Meet the
duty.
soldier.
Yep.
Well, soldier, are you up to
I
the
will
task?
go
I
grab
knew I
that
could count on
fort
you,
for
soldier.
you. Don't you worry. However, I might want to bring some warmer clothes. I don't think you can get warmer clothes. I don't believe so. I don't know if that's because like mods messed up or because I've done something wrong. But I swear when I did test this, like initially for streaming, I did have like a warmth stat on clothing, which no longer exists. So who knows? Who rightly knows? Yeah, follow this through to... No, not that path. I keep following the wrong path. And to keep heading over in this direction. Just go towards Giant Camp. You can stop by his fire for a minute. Warm up. I think it's a decent plan. It's not the best plan, but it's a plan that will leave me with more health than I had last time. So health starts ticking down fast once you get beyond a certain threshold of coldness. I also don't know if it drops down by a percentage or by a flat number. So it makes sense if you had more health you can endure the cold for longer, but if it is by a percentage, that wouldn't make a difference. Yeah, just warm me and my horse. This is fine.
By Arcade's blessing. Is that a giant? It's much bigger than the ones I've encountered. Do you think it's friendly?
There isn't a giant here, but I appreciate you commenting on the fact we're in a giant camp. I also don't like how Yoromir's asking if it's friendly after being entirely up for murdering Bread, our lovely friendly guard giant. Still a bit annoyed about that, but to be fair, Bread did want to also murder my cows and chickens, and I'm not having that. He's not gonna get butter, the cow, or whatever I might end up naming the chickens. I'd like to name the chickens all male names because they lay eggs and it's going to be really weird. But, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know. Just keep on following this path though for now. We are in a much better state than we were last time. I will drop a quick save just in advance to be safe. Never mind, I should drop it just around this corner. We're a lot closer than I thought. Lovely. Quick save, get off the horse, have a bit of bread, and in we go. We're even trying to ambush. We're just straight up going into fights. Also, if you remember, the notes where these people needed reinforcements. Insinuating this is the front line, right? But this doesn't seem like it would be the front line. Also, there's a lot of them inside. Like, one of them accounts for 3%. That would be like around 33 of them in all. They're not able to get in. Okay, I'll go round the other side. It's fine. It's just a bit of a pain having to go all the way around, but it's fine. We have more Stormcloak soldiers, sorry. Let's just whack. That's... yeah, how? I'm now confused why they were there. That's fine. I'm going to take out the archers up in the walls. I'm doing my part. Because someone needs to get onto their walls and take out the like little bits of damage, which are otherwise going to be a pain to deal with. It's me also pretty much full on arrows. Yeah, another soldier here. Hello. Just whack you a little. I'm sorry, my good sir, but you do kind of deserve it. Because you wanted to murder me. Anyone else up in the walls? Apart from him? No. He seems to be about fine. In which case... well, I got a shot from somewhere. Where? And you! There was someone in the walls. How did I miss you? I didn't look very thoroughly, but I would have thought I spotted him. But I guess I just didn't spot him. Okay, power attack to stagger, then just club him over the head. Lovely. And I'm now carrying too much. Is it because I got cold? I don't know. I really don't. I didn't pick anything up. Ah, it's because I ate the bread. Gives me extra carry weight. That would be why. I need to use some of my arrows up then. In which case, take a few good shots at them. This is fine. Feel mildly bad, but this is fine. If there are a lot of these guys, like I say, there's at least like 30 of them for the percentages to match up. Come on. Not too many left. If my idea is correct, there's 4. I can see 4 markers on the map. Plus 1 more. I don't know. Oh, there's a man behind me apparently. What did he get there? I was keeping all of those dots on the one side of me. Alright, that's fine though. I did drop a quick save up in the walls. So we're all good. Yeah, just whack him. Whack him a bit more. There we go. Yeah, we need to get rid of you. Ah, yeah, that is a lot more people there than I thought there'd be. That's not ideal. Joromir's trying to help out, which I do appreciate. But I need the help from everyone, please. There we go. It's the Imperials coming to help me. Get rid of you. I don't know where my horse is. They're doing good work. Then goes them. A lot more people than I feel there should be when they were wanting to get a reinforcement. There goes another. Try and take out yet another one. I'm getting a bit low, however. Need to be careful. Okay, I didn't even get the chance to be careful there. He just got the kill on me with that. That's very mean. That's very mean. Like, it's largely my fault for going off on pretty much my own. But I do feel the actual soldiers, we came with like 10, if that. Like, I'm really needing to pull my weight here, if we assume they're like worth the same value as each other in a fight. Why am I moving so slow? Did I accidentally press caps lock? Am I over encumbered? I'm over encumbered. Eat a bread. Heal up. Let the fighting happen down there. Kill off them. Come on. We're doing fine. Just continue to whack them in their kneecaps and various other parts. And, hello Ghosty. Good to see you. I will do that sip in a moment. It's kind of a busy battle right now. Although, no, they're keeping everyone occupied. I can just watch. Got a shot from somewhere. Who did that? Is it him? Like going intention without you. I mean, I had my hopes up. It has to be said, but I guess no. I guess no. Are we about done with the fight? It seems like it. That's a strong cloak. And you've got even more markers as hostile. How many Stormcloaks are there? Do they infinitely spawn until we've met a criteria? Because literally they keep coming out of this area for some reason. I've seen at least 10 of them appear from there. How's that you going now? Alright, I'll see about Ghosty. Hope you're not feeling too ill. And yeah, well, there are Stormcloak soldiers left. They're no longer necessary to kill. And you feel worse. It's not great. Like, was it COVID after all, though? Do you know? Because I think you said it was just a bad cold. But, I mean, it sounds like it's worse than a cold to me. I mean, yeah, you did tell me. I was just wondering if you'd actually done a COVID test or if you were just making an assumption. Because, I mean, it sounds really bad, whatever you've gotten. Yeah, just keep on heading around doing my stuff. I just need to now go back to... We'll go to Solitude next. Lovely. It's really, really far I need to go. And hello, Raven. Good to see you. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. It's probably cold or really mild COVID and turned into it. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, how are you doing, Raven? I hope you're doing well. It's been a long while since I've seen you streaming, so I hope you're doing okay. It might just been that I've not been paying attention, though. That is entirely possible. Most of it are almost over. Aha, you've had COVID. Yeah. Hopefully it hasn't hit you too bad, but seeing as you're saying mostly better, I'd imagine it has. So hopefully you're back to your normal self before too long. Because, I mean, when I had COVID, for me, it hit me really hard, but for like the shortest of times. Like, it hit me for maybe 1 day and 1 night, and then it was gone. Like, I just had the worst fever and headache of my life for 1 night, and that was it. Like, during the day, I just felt the symptoms coming on, really. Like, I got incredibly lucky with it. I'm not lucky to the point where I didn't get any symptoms at all, but yeah. I managed to get over it quite fast. But yeah, I mean, I swear this time last year as well, like around Christmas time, was when everyone was getting COVID as well. Like, I don't know if it's because of like cold weather, maybe weakening people's immune systems, or some nonsense like that, I don't know. But it does seem to get worse around winter for COVID, similar to how it is with like getting the flu or something. It's like you felt rough, then better, now rough again. I mean, fair enough. Clearly you can't have much sense of taste back if you're deciding to come and watch my stream, you know? I mean, I'm the top quality content, I'm sure, but yeah. No. If you're interested, by the way, Raven, I'm going to be doing my 12-hour charity stream again tomorrow, so... But you can come by if you want. I'll be doing Jackbox around 10 PM, because I do believe that's cultists. I do believe you're in the UK as well, aren't you? So, yeah, 10 PM if you want to come by for some Jackbox. Does life go take your taste? Oh, my God, yeah. Nothing beats some good food, you know? Like, you can get food. There's a difference, though, between just eating food and enjoying food. And I'd like just that slope over there before it's got any texture rendered in. That was interesting. Yeah, like, I enjoy cooking more so than I enjoy eating. But if I wasn't able to enjoy my food after cooking, then that would not be very fun. COVID's still awake, work's been destroying you. Ah. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm not gonna, like, push you to do anything if you don't want to come by So I had to make sure people were aware. And hello, Nocturne. That's just everyone coming in all at once. It's brilliant. I was alone for like an hour, just walking back and forth in the snow in the game. Actually, I've got people to talk to now. Hope you're doing okay, Nocturne. It's good to see you. I'm just doing some Civil War stuff right now because, I mean, I murdered the Emperor last time. Might as well just try and pretend that didn't happen and help the Empire anyway, you know? It's the Empire, right? Like the Legion. I think they're the Empire. Not certain. I thought they were the same, but... I mean... The Legion's here to assist in holding Skyrim as is. I don't know. Spending an hour cooking, it's going to taste good and then... Oh god, yeah. Like, it's never going to be fun if you're cooking something then can't taste it. Spent 22 hours yesterday modding for a new game. Did you sleep yesterday? Like, I mean, I'm assuming that's not the case of it took ages to download the mods. It was a case of finding the right mods you wanted to add in and getting them in and making sure the load orders were correct and everything.
I'm a little busy at the moment. I've got
So that was entirely loading times. That's just madness. And spend an hour going through a dungeon and you loot a chest and it's just empty. Oh yeah. Like, it would not be fun spending time cooking just a really nice meal and not being able to taste it. Same with anything. Like, putting in effort and not having that effort rewarded is not a nice feeling. Like, regardless of what it
gives us
is.
another port in Dawnstar and puts us within striking distance of Windhelm. That should make Ulfric a bit more cautious, huh? Battles are won by trained and disciplined men.
Yep.
Wars are won by talented and exceptional individuals. I'm raising you to prefect. Take this blade as a gift and
Wars
symbol
won
of
by
your new rank.
individuals? I mean, I guess having good leaders makes sense. I'm just like a mercenary, pretty much. I think all mods need updating, deciding which mods you want to run first. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Make your way to our camp.
Like, I do
Rift.
have
a few surprises
like a
for
few
the
mod
Stormcloaks
recommendations
lined up.
from someone who came by a while back. Like, one of them was apparently a whole revamp of the magic system to make it less just projectiles or sprays, but you actually had, like, make walls out of stone and whatnot just come out of the ground. And it sounded really interesting. I can't remember what it was called. I wouldn't remember her name. It was like something to do with like destruction or apocalypse of magic or something like that. I think.
You'll be doing whatever Rick tells
Can't
you
quite
to
remember.
do, and I expect you to find creative ways to disrupt the Stormcloaks along the way.
That sounded really interesting. Because the magic, it is
be with
kind of boring. Like, you've got... wait, why am I losing stamina? Wait. My stamina is draining. Did I catch a disease? I'm quite worried.
Hold the reach.
Just need to quickly check my magic screen. I'm over encumbered. Okay. Ordinator is the huge overhaul. It's really big. You use Valkyrie. It's curated. Alright. So that's just like a more finely tuned version. Wait, did he give me stuff? Is that why I'm overweight? I wasn't paying attention. Did he... He didn't give me armor. Give me a weapon? I've still got my fork. Did he give me the sword? That would be it. There we
would
go.
give them coin to hire more thugs and expand their violence.
Also used to... Okay. Because I do remember last time, I believe me and you had a discussion about the perks and whatnot from Oblivion. And how in some ways it was better, in some ways it was worse. I just think if we met in the middle somewhere and like said you have so many perks you can unlock at certain level milestones of a talent. However, you also get flat bonuses. It would have been quite nice.
What you do here today may well save your lives.
But yeah, that's just me. Odin Triumvirate, I want to say. I probably completely butchered that one. Whatever which name escapes you. Fair? Fair. I mean, perks in the base game, they are kinda boring. Like, there's some you definitely know you want, like, deal more damage with one-handed, take less damage, and X kind of armor. Like, it's stuff like that which you know you need, which stops you getting to anything exciting. But anyway, what am I meant to do next? I am supposed to go all the way down here, damn. It's quite far. I can't even see where that marker is pointing. It's regain the rift at Rift Imperial Camp. I need to get to Iverstead. Probably get a cart over to Riften then. Like, overhauls magic, but everything else. I mean, does that mean it overhauls AI? So the AI makes a bit more sense? Because the AI is a bit stupid in this. I won't lie, it's annoying when your horse decides to get into a fight because you left it on the outskirts of a fight. I felt it would make more sense for it to run away if a fight happened, you know? Like, stuff like that. There's definite things which could be redone. Or, no, perk trees as well. Okay. That's just a lot of stuff then. That's a lot of stuff. Yes, I would like to hire your carriage, please. I would like to go to Riften, I think it was, I said.
You'd best hurry it up.
I've always amazed with modders. Like, imagine being willing and able to put that much time and effort into a game that you, like, love, to add more content for other people who love the game. Like, it's an amazing thing that people do. It's not in any way a bad thing. Like, I honestly am very grateful to anyone who mods games, be it a big or small mod. Then you also have, like, people who, like, crack the games and, like, release them in emulators when they're newly released. Less supportive about that, but on a lot of situations, kind of a grey area. Ah yes, Scotland forever. I would do the proper voice, but I can't be bothered. I'm sorry. I love your username, by the way. It's honestly great. Yeah, I need to get a quick room. Oh, my day's been fine. It's been a bit chilly. There's snow outside, but it's fine. It's sadly not the kind of snow that's really going to stick around because it's not quite cold enough. So instead we just got a bunch of slush, which is a lot less exciting. Unless you like slush, I guess. I mean, I'm sure there's some weird people who like that more, right? There must be some people. Yeah, my day's been great. I hope yours has been as well. I've mostly just been lazing about after getting one of my university deadlines done earlier in the week.
Oblivion do you want?
So I've just been chilling. Yeah, time to go do more fighting or whatever, I guess. Best day ever, you got your dream job? Isn't anything to do with your username? Ah, so you're not working with Hot Wheels. That's a shame. But yeah, congrats! Like, that is an amazing accomplishment. Hopefully it goes just as well as you hope. Like, so long as you have the passion to put towards a job, I can't ever see a job going badly, you know? Only way it can go badly is if the company's bad. But if you have enough passion, you can definitely offset that. Because I've heard of, like, some people, like, I'm not meaning to try and, like, shut down your dream job. I'm just saying some people will ignore anything bad with a job just because it's their dream job. make sure you do stand up for yourself, and make sure you can continue enjoying your dream job. Alright? I understand I'm a random person on the internet, but don't just like bend over backwards to just have yourself messed around with at your work, you know? You're now a flight attendant. Cool. I mean, I don't entirely know what flight attendants do. I've not been on many planes, but I mean, congrats. At the very least, you'll get to just go all over the place, see all kinds of places which, I mean, I won't have ever seen. Because the only place outside of the UK where I've been is Italy, and that was with the school trip back in high school. I went skiing, it was good fun. I do like skiing. I don't think I've done it since then. I should really get back to doing skiing sometime. Good fast travel for free. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't say it's quite fast travel unless you're falling asleep in the job, which I don't think you should be doing. But yeah. That just seems like a really chill job. I'm sure there will be some people who are just going to be dicks regardless to anyone in any job. So make sure you don't let those people get to you, you know? I've heard some weird stories on the internet about people on planes like trying to open the door mid-flight. Hopefully you don't get any of those people. I don't think it's a very common thing. But yeah, hopefully it goes well for you. Hopefully it goes well. But one thing I will ask, is there a lot of training that goes into being a flight attendant? Because I imagine there's a lot of procedures and stuff you'll need to know. And God, that is really dark. I cannot see it at all. Like, is there much, like, training? Is there a lot of qualifications you need? You trained for 2 months. Alright. Is that you done with your training now, or are you just going to be starting your training now that you've gotten the job? Because, yeah, they'll need to make sure you know what you're doing. Because you don't want to have, like, a plane with incompetent flight crew, because you can't fit too many of them in, you know? Fire safety, first aid. Fair enough, fair enough. I don't know entirely how much first aid you need to really do on a plane, but I guess it's good to know. I guess it's good to know. I really hope I don't fall off a cliff. You know what, I said that exactly at the moment when I was about to fall off a cliff. It wasn't even slightly planned, that's great. That's great. That's bandits. I'm still trying to find the camp. Is that the camp over there, maybe? You've been literally doing nothing the past 6 hours. I mean, surely you could do something though, right, Ghosty? I don't know. Like, just chill out, do like an idle game or something, I don't know. You've looked and stuff, I think you'd be surprised. There. You've done everything.
Keep an eye out for storm.
This, I will say, this is my first time playing through the game. I'm playing on survival mode, because that was one of the things which came with the anniversary upgrade or whatever. That's an interesting kind of thing. 'Cause playing the game without fast travel, I'd imagine, is a very different experience. It's also my first time playing through the game. I played like a little bit back when it came out, when I was like 12, maybe 13. I only played like 5-6 hours. Never really did much in the game. And that's just impressive. Yeah, like, I'm enjoying the game. It's nice and chill just going through.
The General and I
like,
have our
learning stuff
disagreements,
from,
but he's
like,
the
what
best
I've heard a lot about
Empire
the game.
and Skyrim.
It's nice going through and finding that stuff for myself. Because I don't know the entirety of this game. I think it's impossible to know the entirety of this game. There's so much. There must be people who will. And thank you for follow, by the way. I do appreciate it. Like, there is so much to this game, and it's just such a fun, chill game. Until you end up just continually dying to an enemy you can't possibly hope to beat because it's survival mode, and I think you take extra damage because of that.
But it's true in
Yes, reporting for duty.
You're going
Like
to
it.
Riften. My spies report
I've
the
actually
Jarl's steward
just came
Anuriel
from
has
Riften.
arrangements
God
with the
damn
Thieves
it.
Guild that would be rather embarrassing if made public.
This
I need
game
you to
over and
find
over for the
evidence of
last
her
6
corrupt
years.
activities and use it to
Has that just
gain a
been
measure of her
multiple
cooperation.
different playthroughs then?
This will require
Where you've gotten to the
stealth
end, or you
and
just gotten
discretion.
to a certain
Jarl's
point and
guards
thought,
won't take
you know
kindly
what?
to anyone
I've been
rummaging through
enjoying
her
this, but
steward's
wouldn't it
private
be
quarters?
interesting to try playing this build? Because I know of a lot of people, they'll play through a game a lot, and then they'll not get to the end and say, actually, what if I built my character like this? And just start again. Different characters and different builds. Because there's a lot to this game, especially if you take into account the modding community, because
Good.
there
I can
are
always count on
so
you.
many mods and so many people just willing to make wonderful new things in the game, which adds so much to it. I might just wait until morning. It is really
I've
dark.
always imagined adventuring in my head,
And
but
yes, you're
because
here.
of you,
I
get to
appreciate
live
you
out my
saying
dream
so.
in the flesh. Thank you.
Yoramir is the best mod, because he
Damn
comes from the interesting NPCs mod, which I have nothing I use out of except from Yoramir. Role-playing in this game is fun too. I imagine it is. Like, I have a chef hat and a fork, and at one point, when I get like far enough into the game where I'm willing to say I'm just really overpowered, I'm gonna run around naked in a chef hat and use a fork to murder people, you know? It's gonna be fun. Just use like the exploits to get really powerful enchantments and
Yeah,
all that.
I think I broke
Like,
one of your items.
it's just gonna be an interesting time. And I'm looking forward to getting to a point where I can just mess around without any concerns at all.
Things are safe with me.
Last character was Shadow Mage, so much fun. And a Bosmer Cannibal. You can do cannibalism in this game? I mean, it makes sense. I would have thought they just chalked up to vampirism, though. Is there cannibalism? I don't know. I know Fallout 4 and presumably other Fallout games have it. Bring out the Mira, you can. Okay. It's a specific item for presumably some kind of like Daedric lord or prince or whatever who plays a vampire. I mean, I do know of vampires. I'm assuming, however, there's a difference between contracting vampirism just out in the road and going to the DLC for the Dawnguard and becoming a vampire. Like, they wouldn't add a DLC to make you a vampire when you can just walk into a random cave next to... Is it Morefall? Where they have the vampires up by Solitude? Or am I thinking of the wrong place? Let me check. It was... Yeah, Morefall. Like, if you just walk into the cave over there and contract, like, vampire disease, presumably you would become a vampire, right? So, I'm curious to see exactly what happens in the DLC. And I'm also thinking, why the hell would I stay as a boring human when I could be a vampire, you know? That might just be me. But, like, why would you be on the human side of the Dawnguard? Like, there is presumably a reason, right? Other than you're just, like, that one guy who plays as the most standard D&D character. You know? I'm not meaning to, like, take any, like, shots at anyone who does enjoy just playing a standard human. Like, part of role-playing is just playing a character the way they would logically go into a situation, you know? Like, there's different ways different people play the game. The game you just start as Vampire Run. Ooh. Okay. And I should not be looking at a chat. I need to go over the bridge, not under. And vampires are different in DLC. I do know roughly how the vampirism works in Oblivion. That was a case of if you don't feed for so long, you get more powerful, but you're weaker to the sun and like fire attribute stuff. Is that the same? Or they kind of changed that around a bit? Because I thought that was an interesting way to do it. Like a kind of risk and reward, you know? Enjoy turning all the NPCs you can. Are you just gonna make everyone a vampire and end Nocturne? That doesn't sound ideal. I don't know if you want all of them to be vampires, because you can't feed from another vampire, right? What you do is you just dedicate one village as the feeding village and turn everything else, you know? Like, no one likes Rorikstead. It's way too out of the way. Just eat everyone there. Gonna try. I mean, to be fair, worst case, you just sneak into the guards' barracks, eat them, then murder them all. And then they'd presumably respawn. Marry Solda for the 900th time. I mean, my plan is to marry Hyoromir, my lovely companion, who is very handsome, as I'm sure Ghosty will agree. Like, look at him. He's even got this flowery, like, wedding headband I stole. I mean, I say I stole it. We got it from murdering, like, the bride for Dark Brotherhood. It's not quite the same as stealing, is it? It's more so straight up murdering. I will say, by the way, I'm not an assassin. Despite going through the whole Dark Brotherhood stuff, I went around with a mace, shield, and heavy armor. And I just paid off the fines. Like, the final, like, situation where you have to go into the Emperor's boat, I found myself just... Wait, do I need to steal one of them, or...? I don't know. Close the door. Yeah, I went into final Emperor's boat. I don't have any lockpicks. Take some coins. I need to go get some lockpicks. Alright. Yeah, I got into the Emperor's boat. Nice and sneakily. No one saw me entering. I even got the guards to assist me in murdering the, like, guard captain who set up the attack against the Brotherhood. Like, somehow got rid of him without anyone knowing that I was the aggressor. Snuck onto the boat. It's nice and sneaky. Immediately spotted as soon as I go in, so just hear me clunking around. And just walk through because they couldn't deal any damage. Just walked straight up to the Emperor and stabbed him with my mace because apparently no one wanted to go into his room. Interesting thing to just have, but I mean it worked. Currently looking for blacksmith, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm just searching wildly around. Your potions. You'd like jewellery?
See for
I
yourself.
mean, I do blacksmiths. Ain't nothing sus. I mean, yeah. Nothing wrong with banning a blacksmith. That's perfectly fine by my standards.
You gonna buy something, or just here for training?
Wait, why am I buying up here? There's a damned Thieves Guild underneath. If I need lockpicks, go to Thieves Guild. That makes much more sense. What was I thinking? Being a normal law-abiding citizen. Yeah, like, followers and all sorts in this game. They just...
Sorry to have bothered you.
They don't seem to add too much to the game, unless you plan to, like, form an emotional attachment to them. Like, yes, you could take someone around just to carry your stuff. That doesn't sound like the intended way it's supposed to go, does it? Like, there's so many more fun ways to do it. Also, I've very much gone the wrong way, haven't I? Hello, Hyoromir. I'm sure you can escape sometime. Is it down here? That's the door. Yes, that's where I need to go. Saw someone marry one of the women from Radiant Tournament and Solitude. Okay. It's pretty interesting, yeah. I mean, maybe they're into that, you know? Don't shame them.
Some may call
Like, I'm
this
into
junk.
Shoremir because he
Me?
makes himself
I
seem
call it
worthless, so I
treasures.
feel less worthless. You only sell food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening.
You only train and sneak.
I have no business with you.
No, you don't sell lockpicks. Who the hell gives me lockpicks? God damn it. I should have tried to pick all those master locks I've been finding out in the world.
Take out the trash like I asked.
I mean, we do have more people.
If you're looking for
You're not selling me anything?
I
suppose I can work with
Um,
your face. After all, the sculptor cannot always choose
What?
the finest clay.
All the stuff is in the safe.
I don't want my face to be changed. I'm lovely already. Have you not seen me? I'm a lovely ginger orc. Like a true Aberdonian, you know?
So, are you here as a client? Shall I remake your face?
Nah. Nah, I'm good. I don't need plastic surgery. I'm all fine. Instead, I will just eat some vegetable soup and that'll make do. It adds to the redness in my beard, you know, if I just leave it there.
Yeah, thanks for the
Do
comment.
I have any lockpicks anywhere that I
I may
can
just take you
steal?
up on that one day.
Try Tanilla. I have to join her to sell to you.
Good news.
Wait.
I found that dwarven hammer you were looking for.
I don't know who you're on about. I'll agree with you. It's all good. I don't really know many people in this game by name. If any, really. Also, we don't have any lockpicks. Why the hell does no one here sell lockpicks? What madness is this? This is the Thieves Guild, right? Like, I'm not going mad. Why do we not have lockpicks? I'm so confused. I'm not gonna question it too much. It's just...
What are you looking
It feels wrong. Like, that's not just me, it feels that's a bit off, right? Ah well. I'm sure I can find the blacksmith somewhere. They'll maybe have lockpicks. It's fine. It's fine. Let's see. Who looks like a blacksmith? I mean, possibly the person over here by the big forge and the blacksmithing shop symbol.
Come to see Balam, the finest weapons.
I do not need your weapons and armor. I need your lockpicks, please. Tell me you've got some. You've got one. I can make do with one, right? Also, I should have anything to sell. 'Cause I need to get my weight down, don't I? I would like to... I misclicked and accidentally bought something expensive. It's a glass bow of torpor. It's not as good as my current one. You can have it back. Kinda just wasted some money. God damn it. What can I sell them? Do I have anything to sell? Not at all. Alright.
If you need any more smithing work,
Fine.
come see me again.
One lockpick.
You're a stranger here too, huh?
We can make do with one lockpick, right? I don't think we can make do with one lockpick. Yeah, I need good luck.
Bless you.
Have a gold coin. I need good luck. I don't think that adds luck of any kind though. I need to pray and hope that one lockpick is all I need.
I don't like talking to someone who holds their honor so cheaply.
You're trespassing here. You'd better clear out.
That's okay, I'm not trespassing, I'm supposed to be here.
You'd better clear out.
Nah, it's all fine. Don't you worry. Okay. Well, there goes my lockpick. Guess we're doing this another time.
Here. You'd better clear out.
I'm clearing out, don't you worry.
You're trespassing.
And Uriel, would you please stop declaring that the city is safe for the Jarl to roam?
How do I get more lockpicks? We have bandits nearby who I encountered on my way. They'll likely have lockpicks, right? Feels like a kind of backwards way to get into, like, a single display case. It could surely just shatter it. It's not as if they wouldn't notice me just walking off with something from the display case anyway. You know me?
Wait, I know you.
You do?
There's no mistake. You're a wanted man, and it's
What
time
have I
to pay
done?
for your crimes.
I don't have time for this.
You know what? You're not even worth the hassle.
Like,
Go. Be some other guard's problem.
yeah, I'm confused. What did I do? I got me a 40 gold bounty. That is the same as attacking someone. Why would I have that bounty? What did I do? Is that for trespassing back there? It could be. I mean, I did quite blatantly trespass into someone's bedroom. Could possibly be it. That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? I can check in stats. Is that in the system stats? General stats? Crime? Rift bounty of 40. Why do I have a... Where is that? What? My largest bounty was from when I killed the Emperor's, like, decoy. Which, surprisingly, I did just manage to pay off the bounty for. Which was interesting. I've paid off pretty much all my fines. I don't know where the other, like... You know what? I'm not going to question it. I've apparently got a lot more left than I thought. Ah, hello, haunted house. I definitely did trespass into someone's bedroom, but it's okay. It was the middle of the day. They weren't asleep. It'd be rude of me to go in without them being blatantly aware that I was. Halfingers in solitude. I'm trying to think where that would be from. 25 gold bounty would be from stealing something, I would imagine. I can't think of what that would be. But oh well, that's fine. That's fine. How are you doing, by the way, haunted house? You doing good? I do hope you are. Because I am doing well myself. That is a bear. Thankfully, they don't seem to care for me. So I'll leave them be. Never mind, they do care for me now. As does the wolf. God damn it. God damn it. Yeah, lockpicks. I'm right in thinking, go kill bandits and get them, right? Level 1, I have 1 gold bounty from stealing a potato plant. Oh, no, that's such a shame. What will that farmer ever do without a single potato? That's good to hear you're doing well, Hunthouse. That is good to hear. That is some large spiders. I thought I would take a shortcut through the forest. This does not look like a shortcut. I just have to go for path. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know whereabouts you live, Haunted House, but at least here in Scotland, where I am, we've currently got some snow, and it's not the fun kind of snow that actually sits and is just nice. It's like the borderline snow where it's just kind of like slush after maybe 10 minutes. It's a bit of a shame. But we do have some snow, and we've got a troll. Troll looks to be chasing after that little fox. They're not hostile to me, are they? No, they are. Never mind. I'm not running from poison spiders. I am refusing to get off my horse to go and engage with them. Who's up there? Is that cultists? I see a bear. I see an Atronach who was summoned. And that's all I see. Wait, I need to investigate this. I'm sorry, Mr. Bear. What? Where did that Atronach come from? From you? Hello, dog. Who are you? I mean, you're very shiny, and you don't actually speak. I'm already a capable cook, but it's an interesting line to have. And you have it in Canada too. Yeah, it's annoying when it turns into ice as well after, because it just becomes not impossible, but just dangerous to go outside. Because, like, it doesn't look like it'll be slippery everywhere, but some little spots in amongst it are just black ice, and you will just slide on it if you're not careful. Like, at least with, like, regular ice, like, if it's been raining, then it's frozen. Like, you can say, alright, avoid that bit, it's clearly icy. But with, like, slushy ice, once that's frozen, it's annoying just having to watch out for little patches as you're walking over it. I just wish it would be cold enough for the snow to actually settle and stay, you know? Like, that's not the best thing, snow. I don't enjoy getting cold feet from it, but... Damn skeever. Do they really think they can put up a fight against me? Anyway, I need to get lockpicks. I'll stop talking about just, like, snow and slush, because that's kind of boring, and I do not want to ride the horse, but I guess I am now. So that's fine, I guess. There's snow there too. Snowed overnight and ice. So it seems like everyone's just getting a good bit of ice going. Which, I mean, ice isn't always the worst. Like, a lot of the time, it's, like, largely okay. Is when it's been melting and then refreezes is the worst. And when that's been the case of, like, slush, it's very inconsistent with where the actual slippery ice is. And none of these guys had lockpicks, god damn it. What kind of bandits don't have a lockpick? I can't even steal anything from their chest. Alright, we've got like a weather vane. What are you? I have nothing that'll fit with a mechanism. Hell? Mechanism? I mean, we got a convector, whatever that is. Okay. What I'm gonna do, a lot of the Dwemer stuff uses soul gems, right? If I put that in there, does that like get filled with a soul? It doesn't. Alright, that was my only guess. But yeah, I could go to Iverstead? Iverstead might have a blacksmith. They might have lockpicks. How do you get lockpicks in this game? Normally I'm used to having too many, but I kind of spent them a bit too willingly, you know? And now I've got none when I actually need some for a mission. I'm gonna have to sneak into that person's bedroom again once I have more lockpicks, but I'm hoping I can actually get in this next time. And not have to leave sad again after my lockpick breaks. So that'd be a shame. Also, there's apparently a house or a building of some kind in this direction. What would be over here? Like, this is quite far south from Iverstead. It's all hidey hole. Like, amidst all the mountains and... I mean, I didn't get the best view of the mountains just there, but in amongst the mountains and the forests, it's quite well hidden. So, who are you? And you're an alchemist of some kind. Hello. It's just called an alchemist shack, and you got a fork. Wait a minute. Wait, they've literally got a fork for taking into combat. I need to help here. This man, if I can get them as a companion, they deserve to be a companion. Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
Ah,
my name is...
damn it.
Wait a minute.
Got missing face gen
Are you an
data.
Imperial agent?
I mean, yes I am.
I knew it. And here I was about to tell you my name is Godrod the Hammer, greatest son of Skyrim.
I love this guy. So, are you the alchemist here?
Stump, are you out of your mind? I just sleep here, live here, and use the vegetable garden. No, this all belongs to someone else.
So he's just hiding in someone else's house. But yeah, they're not vegetables.
Sure they
That's...
are. There's corn, artichokes, and that nightshade-looking thing over there is some kind of dwarven onion.
I love this guy. If he didn't have missing face gen data, I would have kept him around. He's just like eating the nightshade, thinking it's a dwarven onion. It's brilliant.
Some plant mage. Probably wasn't a very good one either, using
Plant
a stove for
mage,
an
you
alchemy
know what?
table.
If I can find a way to fix him specifically, I will. But sadly, with missing face gen data, I'm not going to take him with me. Because it does look a bit questionable. But he's just literally eating the like death bells and nightshade and all that. This is great. Don't think that's a quest or anything. We'll take fire salts. We'll take some garlic. Can we make some garlic bread at some point? Also, I will take a butterfly in a jar. Because that's just nice, you know? Wait, these are stolen? Why did I steal these? Get rid of it. When did I steal them? I'm confused. I don't ever mean to steal anything, but I can't even think of coming across those. How odd. How very, very odd. But yeah, I was going to Iverstead. Yes, that's what I was doing. Because they might have, like, a lockpick shop. I don't know. Like, who sells lockpicks? Like, the blacksmith had a single lockpick. Meaning, surely there's someone who sells more, right? Because he's clearly not like a specialist shop. If he's selling a single one. But I can't think of anywhere else you'd get them. Because the Thieves Guild didn't seem to have anyone who sold them. Which was weird, to say the least. Am I just going to have to really keep an eye out now? For any kind of, like, blacksmithery? We've got in.
Wait, I know you.
You know me?
Wait, I know
Is this about that bounty
There's
from
no
earlier?
mistake. You're a wanted man, and it's time to pay for your crimes.
I mean, there we go.
Good enough.
Any merchant
Now
can
just
have them.
confiscate any stolen goods
Ah.
you're carrying, then you're free to go.
So it's not just blacksmiths. If I went to the general goods store, perhaps I would have had more luck. Got it.
Just let me know.
Pardon me, my lord.
If I
You'd think if,
let's
like,
state that
any
out.
old merchant has lockpicks to sell, though, there'd be a lot more, like, demand for people to stop selling lockpicks, because that really puts into question the security of Skyrim, doesn't it? Like, if you just walk into just any shop and can just say, "Hello, my good sir, I would like 3 of your finest lockpicks. I promise I'm not up to anything nefarious. I'm simply a well-intentioned man." Like, that's not going to fool anyone, is it? Like, yes, I spoke all eloquently, but that's not going to fool anyone. Who uses lockpicks for good? I mean, I guess stealing from bandits? Is that morally good? It's not marked as stealing, so I guess. But if you take into account maybe return to banditry for various unfortunate reasons, like taking all their earthly possessions after murdering them isn't the most moral of things. It's just weird that there's no question to it whatsoever, you know? Also, that bear is going to murder this man,
Are
isn't
you
he?
finished ogling the grotesque?
Ah, yes, ogling the grotesque, victim complex man. I don't understand why these afflicted refugees keep saying that. What is he walking from starting area in the game? You saw a guy riding a Like, Guar behind them? I mean, that does sound very peculiar, yeah. I mean, it sounds like one of the more interesting events. Is that a dragon? That's a dragon, yeah. Give me a minute, Mr. Dragon. I need to park my horse. I'll then drop a save. What are you trying to scamper, isn't he? How dare he try and leave me alone? All I want is to murder him. He's only a puny blood dragon. Oh yeah, he's not anything to worry about. This is fine. I don't know if you can cure here, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Should I just use like my berserker mode, like double damage him? Makes sense, but I do need to wait for him to stop. I need to make sure I've actually got it set. I'm looking at the wrong list. Yeah, Berserker Rage. He's gonna do a breath attack. No. Morality is pretty close to legality. Anything moral is usually legal. I mean, to an extent. Yeah, currently I am, I think, a little bit under level 30. I can't remember my exact level. I'll guess it for you after the dragon. So I'm close to level up, I do know that. Also, I would like to drink a potion, probably. Come on, dragon. I can barely beat him. It's bloody difficult. But it's fine. It's fine. We're managing. Yeah, while he's in the air, let me check. Yeah, almost level 30. I'm level 28, bordering 29. And I am a ginger orc. Because, I mean, why not? There's the two most aggressively pronounced traits you can have in a character. Come on, blood dragon. I just need to whack you a bit. That's us done. There we go. Yeah, like, I don't know if morality and legality are the same. Like, is it morally right to find someone who, like, is struggling to make a living with, like, a £1,000 fine for, like, something fairly minor, like not having a TV license to watch TV?
The battle was over before he knew it begun.
Like, is that morally just? Like, sure, finding someone who's actually got stable income and all that much, yeah, but I don't think it's fine appropriate to, like, yeah, they are close. Largely, laws are based on a system of morality. Like, if they weren't, it would be hard for people to agree on laws being just. Because laws work for most people, they won't really question it. Personally, I'm of the opinion fines and stuff should be based on income level. I think that's how some Scandinavian countries do it. I can't name any in particular. But I do think that should be the case, because then regardless of how much you make or your position or whatever, a fine's always going to carry about the same weight. I think that makes sense. Is that just me being, like, somewhat left-wing with that? I mean, quite possibly, yeah. It's definitely not a right-wing approach to it. But yeah. It's usually, laws are based on morality that a society can agree upon. For example, if you take something that isn't yours, you should be punished. Fair enough. To what degree, that's what the law decides. And I think most people can agree that depending on what you take, like, some things are worse for taking than others. Like, if you stole someone's child, that's not the same as stealing a loaf of bread. You know? Like, there's various levels of morality there. But I don't think morality comes into effect when it's the difference between, like, stealing, I don't know, like, some kind of cosmetic product or something that you don't need, but something you want. Or stealing a large TV. Like, yeah, different variations of what you've stolen. There should be different fines. I don't think that's a moral difference, though. That's me getting into philosophy speech, and I'm not going to do that, because that sounds like a dangerous thing to do online. I mean, I will genuinely talk about anything, but I think talking on, like, moral values and stuff is a weird rabbit hole to get into, which can backfire. So I'll try and stay out of that. Yeah, I'm currently playing through Skyrim for my first time, I should say. Like, it's pretty much new to me. Like, you can't escape having some things of Skyrim known to you. Like how I know there's a Thieves Guild under there, I knew that before starting Skyrim. And how I know that, like, the last fight happens in, essentially, Valhalla. That's about the limit to what I know. The game has crashed. Yeah, that's to be expected. It's Skyrim. It does just work, especially if you mod it. Especially if you mod it. Okay, let me get back into the game. Yeah, hello, if you're still around, I hope you are. I always appreciate seeing new people. There's been quite a few new people this time, hasn't there? I think that's... Is that the third one, I think you are? This stream? It's always lovely, because, like, I don't think I've met anyone bad from the Skyrim kind of community. You've all been lovely to talk to. Like, I mean, it's fine. We can talk about morals and laws if you want. I'm just saying it's a potentially slippery slope which we may want to avoid. Because the difference between something being moral and just, there is a difference. Because justice is not based on morals. Because everyone has different moral values.
Jewelry with legendary Argonian crafts. Big love like a saber cat.
Okay, I need to find the general goods store. We prefer ethics to morals. I mean, sure. I think ethics and morals very close to each other, though. So, I don't think you can ever get away with one and not the other.
Sorry.
Sadly.
Just thinking about my experiments.
I am aware you're most likely joking, but you can never know on Twitch. You can never know. I don't want to ever insult anyone. Which is why I'll always take things at face value for the most part, unless it's an obvious joke.
Welcome to the Pond Prawn. Come on in.
Was just based on morals. Is there anything you can say is entirely based on morals? Let's think.
All the crime and corruption.
Are you the shop? Yes, you are. You have a lockpick, please. I need to break into someone's house and not steal something. It's 22 lockpicks. I should have come here rather than going off to fight bandits.
Until next time.
Something being just based on morals, I would say... Like, you could say your own actions, but that even doesn't quite work.
Honored friend. Could I interest
Like,
you in some fine jewelry?
you could say you act based on your own morals. Like, you wouldn't, like, steal something because you think that's morally wrong, for example. But then you have to think, if you were starving, is it morally wrong to try and steal a loaf of bread?
Don't buy
Is it?
flowers from Ishari.
Like, in a lot of these shops, that bread's probably going to be thrown out because it's going to go past its expiry date. So, is it, like, morally just to steal that bread if you can't afford it but will starve otherwise? I've gotten back into the morals topic. Society does not value private property. Ah, that's the thing though. Is it private property if it's in a large chain shop? Like, I don't know. Like, yes, technically, but not to the same amount. Like, there are different moral values to someone stealing a loaf of bread from a, like, I don't know what. That's like a fairly well-known brand. Lidl, I'd say? Sure. If someone stole a loaf of bread from Lidl, and someone stole a loaf of bread from a local bakery, like, they don't have a chain of shops, it's just a local shop. While both could be valued at the same price, there's definitely a more moral weight to stealing from the local shop who doesn't have other, like, parts to support them. You know? Like, there's different levels to private property and how it's valued, in my opinion. Yeah. Why did I open this? I don't know. Ah, I need to take that letter. I don't even need the lockpicks. God damn it. Let me stop trespassing quickly so they'll calm down.
Excuse me. Do you realize how delicate the experiment is you've interrupted by sending for me? I may need to throw out...
Okay, that should be fine. Let me go back.
Did you have some sort of official business here? There's fine steel and the scorched hammer.
So I didn't even need to break into there, which is a bit of a shame. But we can get an incriminating letter. Lovely. I mean, morals are always an interesting topic. I just think they're not the best one for on a stream, you know? Am I supposed to talk to you? To you! Hello! Yeah, do you recognise this letter at all? I literally walked into your bedroom on multiple occasions and then came back with this one time.
Very well. Keep at it. You may go.
Hands to yourself.
Why would you just, like, keep an incriminating letter? Why would you not burn it? Like, that just seems weird to me.
I suppose you're here to extort something from me? Is that it? Well, what is it you want?
Yeah, what if it was made public? Oh, you'd be completely against it.
Here. The Jarl benefits from my more creative arrangements as well. Though would it be impossible for her to admit that.
Okay.
Layla is a simple and traditional woman, which makes it easy to manipulate her, but impossible to regain her graces once offended. Look, perhaps we could come to some kind of agreement?
I mean... Yeah, bring up that I don't like the Stormcloaks.
So, you're an Imperial
Side things
spy.
needs of poor person or talking property someone is more.
I have no
Make
strong
laws.
love for the Stormcloaks.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm all that
Yeah,
fond of the
fair
enemy
enough.
either. This war of yours makes it difficult for a resourceful
Like,
woman
I
to advance
do
her
remember back during the start of
find a way for both of
COVID, I
us to
believe. I
prosper
can't remember
from
where it
this
was, but somewhere in America, one of the states, or maybe multiple, they made it legal, or not legal, but you wouldn't be in any way legally persecuted if you stole stuff under a certain value. Oh, we got into this topic because I was saying, with all of these, like, different shops just selling lockpicks and it being really accessible as a tool, they sell it. How can you use a lockpick for good? Because if you're selling it to someone, surely you'd know they're up to no good, right? Then I commented on stealing from bandits. Is that morally just? Because, I mean, it's not counted as stealing in the game's rules. However, if they turned to banditry because of various circumstances, they didn't have another choice or whatever, like, yeah, they're not necessarily good, but is murdering them and taking all their lively possessions the right thing to do? And yeah, that led into this. Capitalism, indeed. And how dare you interrupt the conversation?
I suppose you're
I understand I was just, like, not doing anything for a while, but give me a sec.
Look, perhaps, what if I told you about a large shipment of
Capitalism.
gold and weapons?
Capitalism is really going wrong, isn't it? I don't think there's many people other than the people on the top of it who don't think that. That's just how it goes, though. These companies, they need more money because, I mean, how else are they going to become a trillionaire, you know? Like, it's insane how much money that is once you get to $1 billion or whatever. Yes, I'm listening.
Oh no.
Apparently. I'm not.
You'll learn what you need to know once we've come to an agreement.
What about something for me right now?
Well,
At all?
I suppose I'm
Maybe.
not left much
Alright.
choice in the matter, am I? Very well. I trust a hefty purse of septims will suffice.
1,000 gold. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, we're gonna find the
They're taking
shipment.
it by wagon to Windhelm. If you hurry, you'll catch them before they get far. It'll be a fairly slow-moving caravan. The shipment is quite heavy and guarded by many men.
Okay. We're ambushing a
We
caravan.
never had this discussion.
It's a reverse escort mission. Wait, we'd get... Okay, that's interesting.
Welcome in Riften. As long as
Ah,
you're
hello.
trespassing.
Uh,
You'd better clear out.
I'm assuming Evil Tomcat is how you pronounce your name.
You'd better clear out.
Hello. Good to see you. You're like the 4th new person to stream. That's so many people. It's been lovely. That's great always having new people to talk to. It's the best part of streaming in my mind. Like, I've come across, I think, maybe one person who's been just straight up mean for no reason, and like one person who's just a bit odd. In my whole like 2-3 years of streaming. It's lovely. Just, it's great. And yes, you are Evil Tomcat. Cool. Cool. Want to make sure I am guessing your name right. I need to eat something. I will eat a delicious sack of flour. No, salmon steak. There we go. Have a couple of them. Yeah, how are you doing? I do hope you're doing well. And hopefully you'll not do any worse by sticking around my stream. We're currently on the topic, or we have been, of morals and where that lies in amongst the law. It's an interesting topic. Yeah, I'll maybe stop going on about morals and stuff. As I said when it first came up, a bit of a slippery topic for Twitch. Everyone's got different ideas for it. Most of them agree capitalism bad. But yeah. Capitalism and freedom and private property. The thing is, it is freedom, but to too large of a degree, I believe. I don't think we... Oh no, this is getting worse again, isn't it? I don't think we need full autonomy in our lives.
Now I know who
I
you
understand
are,
it's
but I
a
know
tempting
your business.
prospect,
Just
but
please. These are good
would you want to live a life where everyone is completely free? Like, you go out into the street, no one's bound by any laws. It might be people come to an agreement that, yeah, if someone does something bad, well, persecute that person. Not by law, but they'll do it themselves. Everywhere you went, people would still form their own laws, wouldn't they? Even if everyone was completely free. I don't think freedom is a thing that can exist as soon as you get more than one person together. Like, as soon as, like, you get two people together, or you get in a relationship or something, unless it's a very one-sided relationship, like, even if it's not romantic, if it's a friendship, there is some level of give and take. You don't have full autonomy to do what you want. Like, yeah, not anarchy. Anarchy is a very different thing. I'm just saying, freedom as a concept, it's very nice to be able to say you can do what you want. In reality, that's never going to be the case. Like, unless you, like, found yourself completely alone on some deserted island, or on some remote planets, you went, like, space exploring or whatever because Elon Musk didn't like you and sent you off in a ship. Who knows? But if you were completely on your own, on another planet, you wouldn't have any rules. Yet you'd still follow your own moral compass, wouldn't you? Like, even if that was the case, there are no rules. You can do whatever you want. Are you truly free when you have a conscience? Because Like, let's say you're looking for food. You need to go hunting things. Come across, like, a baby animal of some kind. You're like, well, that could be food. I'm not starving, but that could be my food. Nice, easy catch. Do you murder it? Who knows? Let's say it's a post-apocalyptic thing. You're starting to starve. You've only got your pet left. Like, you're not wanting to eat your own pet, are you? Like, there is no true freedom. I don't think that's a thing. Even if you don't mean to have rules, there are rules that you set yourself, you know? But yeah, that's kind of off topic. It's about capitalism being freedom and private property. Capitalism, I don't think is freedom. I think it's portrayed as freedom, but it's actually a way of using money as leverage to get people to do what you want. It's not like authoritarianism or anything like that, but if you give someone enough money, like, most people will be doing a lot of stuff for that money, you know? Like, if you were told you'd be given $1 billion or whatever your regional currency is for, like, murdering one person you don't know, you have no relations to, and it won't ever affect you again in your life. Morally, you'd say no, but, like, would you? Under capitalism, like, the person who paid you, yeah, they're still held accountable and stuff. However, it's no longer just, like, a question of, is it something you want to do? Capitalism isn't freedom. Like, that money definitely is a driving factor for a lot of things. I don't think anyone wants to, like, really go out there and work in an office for 8-9 hours a day and come back 5 days a week. Like, that's not something people want to do. I understand, yeah, that's how you make society function. You need people to do stuff, you need an incentive. That's why capitalism works. It's an interesting thing, though. Like, it's very much portrayed as freedom because you can do whatever you like so long as you get money to live by. It's interesting. It's interesting. Let's think of 10 people in zombie apocalypse. There are no laws. I should make sure I don't accidentally run off the road or anything. 10 people to have to negotiate the rules of the society. Norms would be moral. Because it would be theirs. Yes, they'd all have to come to agreement on the laws. Even if some people don't agree with all of it, they'd have to side with it. However, you'd also have people who, despite these morals, would have to act in certain ways. Like, would it be moral for them to attack another group and steal their food? Or something. Kind of like Walking Dead style. I mean, it helps them survive. That's survival. Is that morality? And why am I heading over this way? I was following the quest marker, but that's definitely not where I want to go. How did my quest marker tell me to go that way? Wait. Yeah, I should be tracking. Okay, I'm gonna manually go this direction. So I need to head west. I've very much gone round in a circle. That's a farmer. You know what? That's impressive if farmer's willing to fight. Yeah, morals, they're always an interesting thing to discuss, because everyone values them differently. And a lot of, like, political views and stuff stem from what you morally believe in, you know? Like, some people, it may not necessarily be morals, it may be other driving factors. People act on different things. That's just one of the wonderful and kind of chaotic parts of humans, you know? Like, for example, like, you have to eat one of 2 pigs. Because, like, you're starving or whatever. But you need to slaughter the animal yourself. Some people would immediately draw the line at, yeah, no, I'm not killing another innocent creature. That's definitely one part which could come from that. Another part is, like, I mean, I normally wouldn't, but I'm starving, so I'll kill one. Some people would be like, yeah, I'm hungry, kill a pig, there we go. Well, if you make one of those pigs your pet and one someone else's pet, you're now more hesitant to do it. Would you morally kill your own pig, which was your pet, like an animal you actually cared for, not just farm animal livestock stuff? Morally, like, kill your own pet because, yeah, it's your own property, essentially. You can do what you want with it. Would you kill the other person's pet because you've got no attachment to their pet? They would, and they'd nearly be distraught over it, but you wouldn't be. Like, there's a lot of things which come into decision making. It's not ever based on simply morals. Emotions come into it. Like, there's a lot of parts. Like, when you break things down into just their constituent parts, there's a lot that goes into doing anything in life. You know? Like, how do you make your body walk? I mean, yeah, you could say you just walk, you know? You, like, stretch your leg. Have you ever tried, like, moving your muscles exactly? Like, just the muscle? Like, you know how you can move your cheek muscles to, like, make your mouth move in certain ways? Make different sounds. That's called speech. Same with moving your tongue. You can't move your leg muscles manually to move your own leg. That's a subconscious thing. Like, there's various parts which are just subconscious, and even the smallest of decisions, you know? Morals is always whatever's norm in society. In society, different morals, Western world and Iran. Yeah, that's very fair. Like, the women's rights and whatever. That's a very prominent part of it. Like,
something to report? Just
because we disagree with, like, what's happening, like, you'd say that they're in the wrong, despite that being their system of morals. They think it's fine.
See the big picture. Skyrim
like,
needs the Empire as much as it needs us.
That's why we breed the 2 pigs and give them another pig down the line. Yeah, but what if they're, like, both male pigs or both female pigs? You can't breed them now. You need to make a decision. Are you killing your own pet or the other person's? Like, it depends on people where they'll draw a line. Some people will say, well, as much as I'd hate to do it, I'd kill my own pig. Because, yeah, I do have an emotional attachment to it, but I wouldn't want to put someone else through that pain. Like, that's an empathetic approach to it, you know? Some people would say, well, yeah, I love my pig, I can't kill it. I'd feel bad for the guy whose pig it is, but I'm gonna kill that one. That's you putting your emotions before, like, other people's, or whatever. Like, you can take whatever you want out of it. Like, pets are an interesting thing. Like, as soon as one of them is a pet, that changes how you think about it. Like, I'm not vegetarian or anything. I enjoy meat. I don't eat tons of it, but I enjoy meat. I'd still think, if I was starving, or anything like that, without much hesitation, I would, like, kill an animal. I wouldn't enjoy it. I don't think it would be a fun experience. But I would, if I had to.
Excellent work. I knew you'd bring back something useful. It just so happens I've got some
like,
scouts along the road.
There's a lot of parts
together see if you can't
that you need to consider for how people work. Because everyone would approach that situation slightly differently. Like, they're not going to go through the exact same thought process as me or you. Like, they might go through an incredibly similar one, but it will be different. Like, in small, minute details.
The Empire's what's keeping the Dominion out of Skyrim.
Yeah, somehow that relates to capitalism being bad. There we go. Sorted.
So long since I killed a Stormcloak, my sword arm's getting flabby.
Okay, so I'm now on a time limit to go up to here. Got it. Where did I leave my horse? That's not my horse, that's not my horse. There you are. Hello, Shadowmere. I don't know how I got onto the topic of morals and freedom of choice and whatnot. Because, I mean, it's an interesting topic. I do like somewhat philosophical topics like it. I'm not a philosopher. It's nice to think about stuff like that. Like, the world, there's a lot to it. Like, you could just say, oh look, it's a car. But how does that car work? How did someone come up with that? When you get down to it, it's a surprisingly simple system. But it's been engineered in such a complex way that it can be changed slightly and become more or less efficient. Then you could look at just all sorts of things in the world and not understand how they work. Like, how the hell does a microwave work? I don't know. I refuse to Google it. All I know is I put food in and it comes out hot, if I set it to that anyway. But how do they make microwaves? It's just a box as far as I'm aware. Is it a series of, like, wires that vibrate at a certain frequency? Is it some kind of other thing which uses electricity to emit energy in waves? Possibly. It doesn't really use sound, I don't think, does it? It's not going to be sound waves that somehow become microwaves of sound. Like, there's a lot. But actually, yes. What, the wire one, or like what part of a microwave? Because like I always refuse to look up stuff like this because I enjoy thinking about it. But yeah, I'm amazed I actually guessed about correct. I'm quite frankly surprised. Also, this is almost definitely not a path down here. I need to go back. Now, the world's just a wonderful place. With so much stuff in it, which, I mean, people before us have understood, but I can't even slightly claim to understand. Like, if you asked me to tell you how the internet and Wi-Fi worked, I could tell you some of it. I couldn't tell you how it actually works. And hell, if I could come up with how to do it from scratch. Like, Wi-Fi, how do you send information through the air? Like, I'm currently streaming this over Wi-Fi. How is this working? How is this actually getting to you? Over just a medium of nothing. It's literally just air. Like, yeah, I could say it emits waves. Fair enough. How do those waves carry data? Okay, once it gets to the hub as well, it goes through cables. That's electrical cables in some cases. That's the Ethernet cables in other cases where I believe it is sent through light. How does light send information? Like, the world is a wonderful place. Like, if you break anything down and actually think about it, like, there is so much you can just get yourself lost in thinking about or doing or anything. Your point is there's an objective morality, it depends on society you're in. I mean, you don't have to shut up, I'm happy to keep going on about it. I'm carefully trying to avoid any kind of potholes or anything where I say much in the way of my own opinions. I'm just posing questions and giving you a lot to talk about it, as well as just saying what I find interesting about it all. Because morality, if we go back to that, does change person to person. That is definitely something you can agree on. However, there is a definite set of things the morals are attached to, which won't change. Like, you could say you're impartial to something. That's fair. Like, if you're being asked, oh yeah, you're wanting custard cream or you're wanting a different kind of biscuit, and you don't really mind, you're happy with whatever. That's something you can be impartial to. Some people wouldn't be impartial to that. They'd prefer custard cream, or they'd prefer something else. Who knows? Like, that's not morality though, is it? That's decision-based making, or decision-making based on certain weightings. You add yourself to what is better or worse. Morals work the same way, from what I understand. Like, is it morally better to do it this way or that way? Is it better to have the custard cream or another biscuit? You know? Like, morals, with them, you can just not do anything, but that's a decision in and of itself. Like, being impartial and not acting is still making a decision. Are there morals attached to being impartial? Like, if it's an important decision, yeah, like, if you went into, like, the Senate or whatever in America, I don't entirely know what they do there, I think that's ones to make the laws, right? I don't know a lot about American lawmaking. But yeah, if you went over there and you just tried to, like, have a look in, and you saw all of them were like, nah, I'm fine with whatever. None of them actually had opinions. And then there was just this one guy who was actually making all the decisions. Like, them being impartial, like, for some things, yeah, it doesn't matter, but some other decisions shouldn't come down to just one person because other people are being impartial. Like, being impartial does have an implication of its own. Laws are ties to norm, what is normal in society. Yeah, but I disagree there. I think morals are bound by the individual. They're influenced by society, but society is also influenced by that individual. Like, if I went out there and I tried my hardest to try and convince people that something was morally just, I'm trying to think of something that's fairly out there but not just inappropriate. Okay, if I went out there and tried to convince people that keeping exotic animals was morally fine, I personally don't think it is, because you'd be keeping them somewhere too different to their own home. But yeah, if I went out there and said, yeah, no, it's fine to just keep a parrot, you know? Like, it doesn't need to have a proper big area despite being used to flying around wide open spaces. No, it's fine to just have a parrot in like a fairly small cage, like let it out maybe every now and again. Like, I personally don't think that's morally just. Society says it's fine for the most part, because you are allowed to have parrots in some places in the world. Like, if you have enough people though, who decide actually that's wrong, we shouldn't be doing that, society adjusts. Like, the individuals create what society decides. Like, yes, you will be influenced by the idea that keeping parrots is okay. You're not going to immediately jump to anyone who keeps a parrot should definitely be, like, hanged without a trial because they're objectively the worst person. Like, yeah, no, that's too much of a leap. But if we were raised in a culture where, I guess similar to India, where they see cows as, I believe, a symbol of fertility and stuff, we don't kill cows because of that. Like, yeah, if you had a similar situation where parrots are now seen as some kind of glorified animal, maybe a death penalty would be a thing people consider. You know? Like, that's something that gets influenced by society. Because not all societies would have the same weight being placed on that animal. Mongols were ordinary people, not bad. conquering... Yeah. Like, there is no universal society. Who is this man with a torch in the middle of the woods? Hello.
I love the rift. You don't get any of that ice water you get up north. Sure, it's raining now, but most days it's just an endless parade of petals rocking gently to sleep, like a living lullaby.
Yeah. You sound rather artistic. Or autistic, depending on your take.
Is the true artist. No way the sight of her makes my knees buckle. I love the rift. You don't get any of that ice water you get up north. Sure, it rains from time to time, but most days it's just an endless parade of petals rocking gently to sleep.
I did not
like
expect
a living
this.
lullaby.
He's just repeating himself.
You sound like my love. She has a more practical mind than I. Each why we're a good match.
Okay, that's that. Interesting chat. Yeah, morals do come down to the individuals, and then from the individuals to society at large. I think the individuals come first though, because they get to influence society. If you go out there with a strong enough opinion, you will be able to convince some people that that is the correct opinion, you know? Like, society does get influenced by individuals. That's why you have, like, these big personalities on the internet, or on TV, or in politics, or whatever, who have weight to what they say. They're individuals who are able to influence society.
Go to new places and see the world. Keep your guard up. It's true in my case. I never bargained on seeing more than I liked.
Wait, where am I? Where am I meant to be? A meet the men.
Can't wait to gut
Are
one
you
of
the
those
men?
rebels.
There's only one of you. No, never mind. There's more. I was just too dark.
Strong and powerful, but terribly slow. So you can't damage, you can't hit.
everything apart and
I just tire them out and strike the killing blow.
Hello.
Disagrees with my choice. Keep an eye out for Stormcloak spies. Damn Stormcloak rebels.
I need to talk to Hadvar.
You were with us at Helgen and Whiterun. Glad to have you with us. How are you?
Am I not allowed to get on at him for trying to have me beheaded? No?
These are dark days, but at least we know we're doing our part to make things better. I guess I'm doing all right. I need this to go well. This is my first real command since they promoted me after Whiterun. You know, some nights when I close my eyes, I see the battle stretched out before me, like I'm still there. Do the men you've killed
It's
haunt
interesting
you?
to talk about morals on stream.
Mine
I
do.
don't talk about them often. Like, I usually don't get my opinions on just philosophical stuff out there. It's nice to talk about that rather than just capitalism, but capitalism is bad, you know? I disagree, there are no objective morals. Let me think. That's a tough one. I believe there are, to an extent. Not everything is covered, but there is to an extent objective morals. For example, killing someone is seen as bad, regardless of where you go. If that is someone who, like, has no ill meaning towards you, and they're, like, your neighbour, or something like that. Like, if you kill your own mother, I don't think anywhere's gonna be like, oh, yeah, good on you. Well done. Like, that's not a thing. There are definite objective morals.
You were with Issa. I guess I'm.
But that, like I say, doesn't
Do the men
apply
you've
to
killed haunt
everything.
you? Mine do.
Yeah, enemy
Really?
wagon.
It
There
just
we
so
go.
happens we've been tracking a wagon for about a day now. So that's what's. in
Well,
there.
like, there are
Listen
some
about this.
objective morals.
How do you know that?
Things like, should men be, like, the ones getting in all the money? Stuff like that. That's not necessarily morals, but that does differ. That's not an objective. As much as I have my set opinion on it,
That was crafty.
there's definitely some stuff there
Lucky for us that the wagon recently
less
had a little accident.
so
We're
set
stranded
in
now,
stone.
Just up the road. We're outnumbered,
Like,
but I have
not
a
stuff
plan.
that I'm thinking, like,
You got here just in
I'm not
time.
wanting to back myself into corner here, but, yeah. There's different societal views based on where you go, and that then
First, we're going to
different
take
per
out the
person.
sentry, then we'll situate ourselves over
Like, there's a
the
lot of
camp.
morals, like
Next,
the whole
we'll infiltrate the
stealing a
position and get
loaf
their
of bread.
attention, while we
Like,
hit them with a barrage of
is that
arrows.
morally
With a bit of
bad
luck,
if you're
we'll catch them
starving and can't
completely off
afford
guard,
it?
and even the odds a little.
That's not an objective moral. But yeah, that's an interesting one. What do you think? Counter argument: murder is bad in every society, since it's bad for society. Every society needs two things: prosperity and safety.
My father was there,
What?
and his before him.
Doesn't really counter argument, but yes, people wouldn't want to murder if they were well off and had no benefit to doing it.
Good.
Like,
There's a sentry
if it was
patrolling the hill.
prosperous, they'd
Going
feel
quiet
no
and
need to
drop
commit
in
the
with a
murder.
combined arrow barrage.
If people felt
Low,
safe,
fire on my word.
then there would be reasons against trying to murder someone because there's safety measures in place. That's multiple different kinds of levels, though, as contributing factors. And for some
Get him
people,
when he
that
comes
wouldn't
back around.
straight up stop
Hold your
it.
fire.
Like, it's definitely bad, but some people, they'll just snap, you know?
Fire.
What's going on?
Keep your guard up.
I'm keeping my guard up. Are they alright? Hello?
Keep walking.
Yeah, they're the ones I want to murder.
This doesn't
Yeah.
concern you,
Hmm.
friend.
Tiny safety to be successful and murder makes it less safe. Yeah. But then you look at America, where it's a surprisingly concerning thing, which they just don't tend to really address. Like, I know it's a kind of touchy subject, so I don't want to go in depth with it, but when there are school shootings, where, like, these people are able to just get guns without much questions as to, like, their intentions or their sanity or anything, there should be more tests in place, I feel. They have, in the past, tried to add in a limit for how many guns you can buy. I don't think that's an issue. Because, yeah, you could argue that makes people more safe now, because people have less guns. Yeah, nah, it doesn't really. Because you only need the one gun, right? Like, there's definite things in amongst that which I feel need to be rethought. But, yeah.
No one here now.
Stuff like that. It's illegal. However, it's kind of brushed over. Even when it's a kind of horrendous thing. Like, when a mass shooting happens, people... They definitely do talk about it, don't get me wrong. But they stop talking about it. They don't bother to address it after a while.
I'll stay here and guard the shipment. You get back to
Like,
camp
it's
with
weird. You say we're religious, right, is imposing particular morals onto everyone else. Yeah, but that's a good one as well, as an example. Like, people who decide morality is theirs to decide is concerning.
You know, I could have sworn he told me to hold on to some
Right to
more
weapons is not
metal
your
as we went
argument.
down the road.
Yeah, that is a very different argument. I'm not really wanting to touch on that argument because people can get a bit heated over it. The argument that society likes guns. Yeah, we'll make guns legal. You are correct. I was mostly trying to link it into the murder thing, where murder makes it less safe, but we're quick to brush it under the rug to make it seem safe. Because in a society with guns, anyone can have a gun. Right? Like, unless you have been clinically proven as, like, mentally ill or something, to an extent where it's not safe to let you have a gun around other people, you're allowed to have a gun. I'd imagine anyway. I hope there's some kind of system in place, and god damn it, my light's having a bit of a fit. Just give me a second, I'll just turn that off. Problem with having a non-dimmable bulb and a dimmable socket. Like, my argument for the gun control in America thing is people can have any amount of guns they want. However, you shouldn't be allowed to carry more than a single clip of ammo with you for a gun. You shouldn't be allowed to stockpile ammo. That, I believe, would somewhat make it a lot safer, anyway. And in some ways. Other ways, maybe not. But in some ways. Also, I'm kind of wanting to go around this. I don't know who's inside of that fort. Like, let's say you had to make it a very kind of strict process for buying ammo for guns. Like, you can't own more than, I don't know, 20 shots in a gun. Yeah, still not the safest. But if you tell people, yeah, you can go to a firing range, there, like, there's different rules or something like that. People could still get their enjoyment out of the guns for that part. If you noted what you're using your guns for, yeah, that would maybe let you get more ammo afterwards. I don't know. That's a hard topic. I don't want to go in depth with it. The argument is, laws are based on norms of society, laws are not objective or global. I don't think they're global. I think some are objective, as I've said. I think they are based on society. Like you say, they're not from society. Like, you won't have your morals strictly from society. Like, they are influenced, but people will have different degrees of how much they think something is just or right.
Quiet enough now.
Or morally just, even. I don't know if that makes the most sense, but I hope it does.
I presume.
Then one objective moral virtue. I mean, sure. Okay.
If you've got the
I'm gonna think of one you can't disagree with.
Otherwise, hit the road. Sure thing. It's your
What would be one you could not disagree with?
Welcome to the Bee and Bar, my lord. If I can interest you in
I mean,
one of our
probably
special
sleeping with your
drinks,
own parents is a bad idea. Like, that's a fairly simple moral, which I don't think anyone would really disagree with. Unless they're, like, medieval royal families.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
The people here
There's
are ready to
also
reclaim their city.
killing children.
Feel it.
I think that is
All they
something
need is a hero.
morally you cannot justify in regards to any society or any situation. Killing a child, definitely a bit much.
Gems, potions, exotic ingredients, I have them all.
I mean, for society, what are you meaning by society? Like, do you mean governing set of morals that people would act by? For example, the whole murder bad or whatever. Because murdering children is a subset of just murder, which makes it worse. And is possibly going to get me struck off YouTube Or Twitch if I go on about it too much. I mean, I do upload VODs to Twitch, or not to Twitch, to YouTube. So hopefully they're not going to care. They might. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, it's not something I think's always objective, but there's definite stances where, like, all people will agree that it's on the bad end of stuff. Like, no one's going to think it's a good thing to, like, murder a child, right? I don't think anyone would say it's morally correct to just walk out into the street and, like, blow your head off with a gun or something. I don't know. Stuff like that. That's probably something everyone can tell you is not a good thing to do. It doesn't involve harming anyone else. It's only harming yourself. But it's definitely not morally a correct thing. So when you're not directly harming someone like that, that's going to be a big old thing that people do not want to be thinking about or experiencing ever. You know? It's any society. It's meant to make it easier. What, you mean just like... wait. Society? Okay, I'm trying to figure out. Naming an objective moral for a society that all societies agree on, not individuals within the society. For example, all societies agreeing that... Goddamn cultists are still here! Yeah, for example, all societies agreeing on, like, pedophilia being bad. Or something like that, right? Like, people may have different views on it, but all societies agree. Something like that? Do you mean? I'm kind of confused what you're asking, entirely. Unless you're asking for moral virtues, so one thing that's just objectively good. In that case. Objectively good. I don't think anyone's ever going to tell you that, like, I don't know, giving water to a dog who's a bit dehydrated is bad. Child sacrifice is easy. That's quite a start to a sentence. Local volcano erupts and child's not killed, then that could be moral. Or maybe society thinks real life begins time you can count to 10, for that you're not a human life. Fair. Fair. There are a lot of interesting questions you could ask there, which I can't remember where I've seen discussed, but I do think I saw somewhere, whether it was in like a book or a film or a game, where like children, they were not considered people until the age of like 10 or something. Anytime before that, perfectly fine to just get rid of them, if they're not going to be good for society. That was an interesting thought kind of experiment, that I don't entirely know if I wanted to ever address in my mind, but I mean, you could make a set of rules for any society that they could all agree on, and yeah, there would be no objective morality there. The thing is, with your argument of child sacrifice, or child murder as I put it, while, yes, you could justify it, that does not make it morally just. Right? Like, just because something's justified doesn't mean it's good. Like, if there was a man who was going to kill you, and you killed him in self-defense, lawfully, and such, I'd say you're all good in that kind of a situation. But you would not be all good in terms of that... Yeah, it's dead. In terms of, like, killing a person is immoral, you would not feel good about having killed a person. Or at least most people wouldn't. Like, justification does not necessarily mean it's moral.
Good work.
Right?
I'll send some men with a wagon to collect the prize. We can use the weapons here, and I'll pass
This has
on
been
the
a really
coin to
long
Solomon.
discussion. I have quite enjoyed it. I have. I feel you're just probing me for all these opinions without offering much of your own, which I'm fine with. Like, that's kind of how philosophy works. You just continue to question it until you can question it no further, at which point you've come across an answer. That's how it works, you know? Some things we never do get to an answer. That's philosophy. It's like the behold a man as... I can't remember philosopher, it was an ancient Roman one.
Meet the soldiers
Who...
preparing for the attack.
Was
Then
it
join
Greek?
them
I
in
can't
wiping
remember.
out the rebels.
It was one of
Once you
them.
prevail, we will
Who
garrison the
was like,
fort.
behold a man,
Well,
as
soldier,
he
are you up
had
to
like
the
a
task?
featherless chicken. Because someone said it was defined as a featherless biped, to be a human. You know? Something is bad, but if this and that, is it still bad? Yeah. Like, is there something with any justification would still be bad? Is that what you're asking? I think that's kind of what you're asking. And I can think of some things
I knew I could
that
count on you, soldier.
would, but I would imagine you would still have some part against. Like, would mass genocide ever be justified? I mean, possibly. I don't know how. But, like, if we take it up varying degrees, like, killing off the entire human race, is that ever morally just? I can give you any number of just degrees of murder. Murder is always kind of something people will see as wrong. It's a good one to go to, like you say. It's a pretty good example. I'm trying to think of something other than murder, though, which would count.
One job and settle down. Prefect? Yeah, because real men spend their lives tilling fields and working.
Where did that horse go? Ah, there. Yeah, there's a lot you can go to. I don't know if there's anything as a specific moral virtue that everyone agrees is a good thing. Moral bads, yes, but moral goods. I mean, I think pretty much everyone would agree that having the freedom to do what you want with your life within constraints that may be placed down for you or whatever, but still having the autonomy to be able to choose some facets of your life is a good thing. I don't think anyone would believe that people should be under control or whatever, like 24/7, right? Is that maybe an example of like another moral bad? That's not a moral good. If I phrase it as it's good to let them have the autonomy, there you go. It's a bad if I say restrict their autonomy, you know? It comes down to phrasing for that one. It's interesting. I do kinda like how you've just come along to the stream. Your first message was about morals and we're still on about it. But yeah, it's interesting with morals. For there to be an objective moral good, I think it would have to be the idea of giving up something of your own to help another. Some people might see it as redundant or bad in the sense that, yeah, it's not a productive thing to do. You're putting yourself in a more precarious situation. However, I do think, even if that was the case, they would see that as morally just. Right? Vestia belief is John Locke and all humans born basic rights. Everything else is making... I mean, yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. I could agree to that. Oh no, I'm completely fine with it. Like, I am genuinely happy enough to talk about this. Like, 100%. My only concern with it is I do need to be careful what I touch on, of course, because internet's a scary place. People could take me out of context quite easily. And, I mean, I do enjoy the idea of having a job in the future, you know? Not necessarily a job in streaming, because, I mean, I'm just doing this for fun. Like, the fact that Twitch and other people pay me for it just happens to be a positive, you know? Like, I'm just enjoying myself. And I think a lot of my enjoyment comes from interacting with people while doing stuff. Whether that's related to the game, whether that's related to stuff outside of the game. Oh yeah. Some subjects that are going to be hard to touch on. Like, I'm not just going to suddenly, like, talk about various moral stuff which I very much disagree with. However, if I even mention, might put me in a bit of a dangerous spot. Because, yeah. There's definite things you can't touch on the internet, you know? Like, some people will, and they'll be very promptly told no. Like, if I came out and just said just the most out there ludicrous comment, which is objectively wrong, like, yeah, people would not be happy with that. Anyway, let's quickly take down this fort. Oh. They're murdering wolves. Okay. That's what's going on. While backing up towards their enemies. Yeah, it's been lovely to chat about this. Like it is. Like, like I say, talk about anything. I will talk about... This is a horse trying to escape. I'll talk about morals, I'll talk about game, I'll talk about, like, what I'm doing in life, I'll talk about what you're doing in life. I'll generally talk about whatever, regardless of if it's necessarily something you care about. Current moral issues, also not your issue, just like to poke out. Maybe you like to poke the idea more issues. Oh yeah, no. There's no way our ideas are the all-time best morals we've ever had. You know? That's just not going to be the case. Like, in a totally perfect society, people need to be able to think the same thing, they need to be able to do the same thing, there needs to be no limitations. Yet everyone still needs to be able to contribute towards a society. That's an ideal which isn't achievable. Because some people aren't ever going to want to do anything that would be considered productive. And then you'd have other people who are doing, like, extremely productive stuff, which, I mean, they'll need to enjoy, otherwise that's not a completely equal society. Like, there is no perfect society. It's not a thing that can exist, in my mind. Like, yes, you can improve society, you can make it worse, but I don't think there is a perfection. I think being able to have a society that can change its values is an important thing. Because if everything was set in stone, and you knew it couldn't change, that would definitely be kind of a suffocating feeling, wouldn't it? Like, I wouldn't want to live in a society where I know everything is set in stone. Like, yes, some things always will be, but... I mean, I don't know if I'm the only one between us who thinks a society which tells you what you can and can't do, what you can and can't think, would be bad. I do think that would be pretty terrible. Why did I slow down so much just there? What happened? Am I over encumbered because I'm being shot by arrows? The hell? Okay, let me drink a potion, I guess. Yeah, I'm over encumbered because I was shot by arrows. That's great. Oh, that's just great. That was brilliant. That actually explains quite a lot. I need to heal. That's the only healing I have. I guess I need to get some stamina back. Of which I actually need quite a lot. I should eat. Venison stew gives me health regen. Never mind, I'm... Yeah, like... I think if we ever got to flawless society, then you lose any meaning in whatever you do, right? Like, the whole driving factor is you want things to improve, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for other people around you. That's a driving factor. When a society does get to like a perfect state, nothing at all could be improved upon, you lose any point in existence, don't you? Like, what's the point of you doing anything if at the end of the day everything's going to be exactly the same? You know? Like, you could argue that for creatives or whatever, that would make sense, because you have the freedom to express whatever you like in whatever way you want. Is a society fully made up of creatives, just creating what they want to create, a perfect society? I mean, I wouldn't say so. That's not gonna make everything just magically work. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to let them do what they want, but I don't think that's the end goal anyone's after. Like, I don't see how you'd have a perfect society. There needs to be imperfect parts to society for there to be a reason for a society. It's an interesting thing, not wanting to have something perfect, because it would make things too good, you know? But I do think it's a kind of thing that, even like if people don't mean to think it, I do think people care about it. Yeah, my shield really does not block arrows. It's supposed to. It does not. Alright, who's a Stormcloak here? I don't know. Probably you. Hello. There's still so many. Why do we send us with like 7 people to do this? Like, this does not seem like a reasonable thing. Okay, come on. Mr. Spear Soldier is gone. Mr. Sword and Shield, gone. Anyone else up in the walls? You are. Hello. Completely missed you. Kind of like 1 or 2 more enemies. For Genghis Khan, you educated person. for the value thing in China. After Mongols took over, being a highly educated person was considered... Okay.
I cannot best.
That's interesting. I wasn't aware of that. I always thought being educated and aware of how to do things would be seen as a good value. Yeah, we're gonna try and retreat. Yeah. Morals do change, yeah. Like, if everything was unshifting, that would definitely, like, make things weird. Like, morals and norms, like you say. It's not a thing set in stone. It comes down to the times and the people in those times. Where did I leave my horse? And where am I supposed to go? All the way back up to there. Where did I leave my horse? Did I leave her back here? I remember this is where wolves were killed. Presumably horses nearby, right? Shadowmere? Shadowmere? Did you go assault the castle? You damned brave horse. I mean, a mortal horse. So, maybe slightly less brave? Who knows? I cannot see a thing. Let me get out of light. Yeah, that is the Emperor who I killed with Dark Brotherhood, who they are referring to, right? Like, I have killed the Emperor of the Imperials. And I'm an Imperial myself, right? It does seem weird to me. It does seem weird. I very much also lost Shadowmere. I don't know where she's gone. Or he. I've never really considered much of what gender Shadowmere is. Who knows? All I know is I need to head south. So that direction. Because I want to get to Riften, travel up to Solitude, hand in the mission. And I think I'll wrap up the stream there. Because I've done a good bit this stream. I've, like, cleared out 2 areas near Windhelm. So presumably I'll wrap up Civil War stuff soon, right? But yeah, I'm enjoying the game. It's a lovely time. Like, I was a bit concerned when I decided for my first time playing it I'd use mods. But, I mean, I've not added much to the game. I've improved the foliage. Like, added maybe more trees. I can't quite remember on that one if I did. Hello, cave bear. Just wants a hug. Like, I added in a few extra content mods as well, like cut content, some just straight up new areas for later into the game. Ah, damn it, you've given me disease, bear. It was all fine until he gave me disease. God damn it. I don't have a cure disease potion, I don't think. I need to go back to my house at some point and pick some up. Yeah, like, Skyrim, it's a lovely game. Like, even playing just base game stuff, it's good fun. But look here to look at Skyrim stuff. Discussion stuff is fun too. I mean, again, it started because I brought up the question of, is it morally just to rob a bandit? Like, without any regard to their kind of situation. Thank you for follow, by the way. Because, yeah, bandit, they're bad. Fair enough. Taking a bandit's stuff and killing them, yeah, fine enough. Nothing wrong in doing that, because bandit is bad. But what if bandit turned to banditry because they didn't have another choice? What if they were ostracized by their village or whatever, never given a chance to live a decent life? Like, is it as morally just now? I mean, it still turned to banditry, so yeah, sure, why not? They're still a bandit, they're still harming other people. Okay, what if that bandit's just someone who committed one small crime once, couldn't pay off their thing, and had to get into a group of bandits so that they could make some way for themselves to survive. And all that stemmed from them, like, stealing, like, bread or something. Who knows? Because that's something we brought up already in the stream.
Need a ride?
Like...
I can take you to any of the... My carriage is...
Wait.
Yes?
Can I not
Need
talk to
something?
him?
Yes?
Oh, no. Okay. Go through a load zone. I need to be able to fast travel. That's important. But yeah, like... You can't just assume it's morally alright to kill a bandit. That's my main point. There's a lot of circumstances that would come
Need
around
something?
it, and
Yes?
I just genuinely can't fast travel right now. Oh god, I need to walk all the way to Solitude. That's literally the opposite corner of the map. Oh no. Well, that's a journey for next time, I think. Oh no. Don't want to do that. Maybe if I reload in next time, it'll be fine. But yeah, that is all for now. If you are interested, I'll be doing a 12-hour charity live stream tomorrow to raise money for Parkinson's research. If you don't want to donate, that's fine. I'm hardly going to make you. If you're busy, I'm not going to make you show up. So make sure people are aware of it and that it's going on. Because, I mean, it's a cause that matters to me. And I'd like to try and raise money for it, you know? I mean, somehow last time I had Ludwig come by. That was impressive. That was more impressive or lucky, but it's a bit of both. Yeah, I'm hoping that goes well. Until then, that's all from me. I do hope you've enjoyed. It's been lovely talking to you. Even if it's been a bit off topic, it's been nice. If you want to keep chatting in Discord or something, like, send me a message. More than happy to chat. I just need to get some food as well. So yeah, that is all for now. Enjoyed myself. Hope you have enjoyed yourself as well, and I will see you around. Goodbye for now. If I can find my streaming software, there it is. Goodbye for now.